Yes, my people, good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening, but more importantly, blue morning to you all, because in fact, it is the Blue Morning Show. I hope you're all doing well. As usual, we'll start by going through what we have in the chat there already and say hello to the people there, to the good people there. Yep, and again, before I do that, today we'll talk about Mac Allister, the beat for Mac Allister, uh, how difficult signing Enzo Fernandez or Moises Caicedo has become. And also we'll talk about Malo Gusto. Gusto, so to speak. I hope you're all doing well. More importantly, again, let's go through what we had in the chat already. Blue Morning Kachila panel and chat. As usual, the first person there is Liam Lane, and I appreciate that. All the love, I don't know how to pay you back, brother. Please like and subscribe when you enter. If you have not, as it helps the channel grow and reach a wider audience. Yes, the likes are very important. Let's get that one out of the way first. Again, whether you're watching and you're not able to participate in the chat, you can also take a second, just drop a like in the on the video to support the channel, to help us reach a wider audience. We sincerely do appreciate that. 1 second here. Again, a morning, just saying hello to each other there. Blue Blood, a big up, brother. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for finding the time to join the show. YC Kuwaitis, good morning, bro. Big ups to the Blues, and big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. YC, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Morning, Dan. Okay, just Lam Lane saying hello. A big up Kuchila from AB. AB, it's been a few days now. Okay, no, I think you were here yesterday or 2 days ago. But more importantly, I hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And we have Santiago Modric. Santiago Modric, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Did you change your name? I'm a bit confused here. Let me know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, remind me. Did you change your name? I want to know. Okay, but that's by the way, people. We'll move on. I'm going to sip in the coffee a lot because I'm still a bit sleepy. Bellingham, Rice, or Enzo. Yeah, 3 of them. Again, I take Enzo because he provides more of what we need right now. Bellingham, maybe because it's a hybrid of both. They can do some work defensively, can also contribute offensively. Maybe, again, I'd have to look at their qualities to say, okay, you know what? This is my preference here, if that makes any sort of sense to you. Big up, I'm so pissed off with Chelsea not getting most important player, a midfielder. Again, it happens every season. Ball it out. I wouldn't say that because there's still time. It can still happen. From what's going on, actually, if you ask me, I'd say he's created the sort of distraction he likes to create. The conundrum with the Enzo thing and the others. Again, let's see what happens. Really, let's pay attention. I don't think it's over yet. I think we're still busy in the market. There's still how many days left? There's still about 5 days left, 6 days left. So it's going to be a crazy few days left in the market. Yeah, morning. Hope you had again a productive day so far. I'm just waking up. By the time the show ends, I'll find out whether it'd be a productive day for me. But I appreciate you asking that. How about you? I hope you're having a productive day. And more importantly, to everyone in the chat, I hope you're sleeping. I hope you're eating blue. You're sleeping blue. You're waking up blue. And overall, I hope you're living the blue life. Yep, that's what's up. And the vibe, coach. It's already Wednesday. Again, week goes by so quick, like this. Boom. As long as you're busy, you won't even know. It goes by. Yeah. And thanks for saying that. And hi to everybody here again. I hope you're doing well. Let me see. Again, there's 6 days left exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, I changed my last name from Munoz. Oh, now I get it. I was like, do I know this person? I wasn't sure because I was like, when did I make this person a mod? Now I know who's talking. Okay, Santiago Modric. I'm guessing you're hyped about that signing there, and I'm too. How do you become a member? Dominic YZ, we don't have a membership level yet. First, again, and I don't want to do that until we get to at least 10,000. Everybody, again, I want to still keep it in a way that everybody is important. Then if later on we create a special program for some people, again, then where I can get some panelists, I don't know how else to phrase it, but right now there's no membership. Just enjoy yourself. Again, you're a member by again participating in the chat. Are you talking about becoming a mod? Maybe that will happen later. So, but just relax, okay? Again, how? Yeah, I think I've answered that question. Course is a 3 or 4 a.m. for you. It's a 3:40 right now, and that's 20 minutes before 4 a.m. Yeah. Thank you for asking that. Again, good morning, everybody here. Mark James says that. Yep, I'm glad you understand that right now. So let's get into a few of the topics we have here in a minute. Following up live from Liberia, I am a Chelsea fan. My Liberian brother, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I sincerely do appreciate that. And if you're watching, if you don't mind taking a minute to say, okay, this is where I'm watching from, I'd really appreciate that. And again, yeah. Let's see. Vibe says again, wow, Coach Ken, very dedicated. Yeah, I enjoyed more importantly before I did anything else. Thank you so much again. Coach, are you from Zambia? I'm an African, so we're all brothers. I'm originally from Nigeria. So I'm Nigerian before I became American. So yeah, we're brothers. We're all Africans. Yeah, so, but thank you for asking the question. Again, Rosemary Morgan says, wow, is it for the time or what's surprising you? Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, like. Let's get it to 300 likes again today, just like we did yesterday. We had 300, so we can do 300 and maybe get to 400 today, but it all depends on you. Because if you want, you keep liking the stream so we get to that number. But thank you more importantly. The first one here, I've always been suspicious of this deal here, the possibility of us signing Marcus Thuram. Why do I say that? I said that. Why did I say that when I said it? I said it because if he leaves on a free, he gets a sign-on fee, and there are other clubs that are interested in his signature, and he's said openly that he will wait. Again, he will take his time to explore his option, and he's done that. I know there were times when he was out there. He was out there that we're in advanced negotiations with his camp and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Yes, the truth remains if Borussia Mönchengladbach sells him now, they will make money. But in the summer, he gets to leave on a free. But for him, he won't make that much money as he will make if he gets to leave on a free in the summer. So yeah, why leave now? Because the truth remains, I don't think we'll be able to give him anything close to how much he'd be earning if he gets to leave on a free on the summer. That is the money he gets again in a bulk as a sign-on fee. I don't think we'll be paying him anything close to that. Plus, it comes in bulk for him in the summer. So yeah, that was something I thought about it. I said this dude isn't coming. It will be difficult to get him to come, but we try now. We're reading here that Marcus Thuram has blocked any potential move to Chelsea this month, but will leave Borussia Mönchengladbach this summer with a move to a top club on the agenda. Yeah, a top club, we count as a top club, but that includes paying him a sign-on fee. So yeah, because the truth remains, it's business for every party involved. It's business for the player as much as it's business for the club. So you let me know what you think about that one. I think it's over. Again, I think it's because you're at Stamford Bridge. No, I'm not at Stamford Bridge. I am in the U.S. And I hate being precise as to where I am. But that's by the way, I get what you're saying. Let's see, what else do we have here? Again, very important. Yeah, it is important to me. Is there any update from Chelsea transfers list again this morning? Yeah, we're taking them one by one. And as you can see, we just talked about Marcus Thuram deciding again blocking any potential move to Chelsea this month, but will leave Borussia Mönchengladbach this summer with a move to a top club. And I know we count as a top club, but are we going to be willing to pay him the buyout clause, pay him the sign-on fee that he'd be requesting at that point? I don't know. Yeah, excuse me. The coffee is important to me so that I can wake up properly. Yeah, and again, people, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, people. I appreciate all the support of the Chelsea. This channel has no waffle. All the CFC vloggers waffle too much. Again, thank you for the credit. Match host at Trent TV. I appreciate all the support and all the love. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Oath Studio says again, so new formation next year if we get a striker, maybe 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. I think it depends on the type of striker you're calling for. I think the club will be looking for a hybrid striker, and I think Vlahovic he qualifies as a hybrid striker. And I don't know. I don't think we should actually consider sending what's his name, Dacho Fofana out on loan. His numbers are for Moldy. Again, the last games he played for them, he isn't a talent to send out on loan. His scored scored seven goals in 12 matches. Completed 52 takens, created 22 chances. Those are not the numbers you see that from a talent you send out on loan. I think he should be given the opportunity to prove himself at least till the end of the season. And if that doesn't happen, then you can decide to send him out on loan to another club where, again, to ensure he continues to develop. But that's, by the way, we move on from that one. And the governor says if we cannot get Enzo Caicedo, loan all Nana till the end of the season. And do you think Everton would let him go? You could say I think they're in a relegation battle right now, so it wouldn't make any sort of sense to let one of their best players go. They need them to fight and stay up. Let me check where they are at the table. Just 1 second. One second, I'll bring that up in a bit. Let's see the bottom of the table here. Yeah. Yep. Everton in position, and it can surviving. It would take some upturn of in form for them to survive it. So it wouldn't make any sort of sense to let their players, again, some of their best players go now, even if that player wants to leave. So it doesn't make any sort of sense. Yeah, again, if we cannot get Enzo or Caicedo loan on to the end of the season, I don't see that happening. Let Chelsea do everything in their power to sign Enzo before the transfer window comes to an end. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. You may sign him, and again, all the work that's done to ensure that we don't infringe any again FFP rules may well be shattered by doing that, because they're asking, I think, for 120 or how much exactly, 120 million euros, which isn't it isn't a chicken change. Yeah, we'll get to that, more of that in a bit. And coach and Chelsea 254, I thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well, brother. Again, big up to you. He says, coach, again, should we be worried about FFP if we got if we get point deduction, we're in relegation zone? I don't think, no, we're fine. The owners are so smart. They did their research before going employing the approach they employed for the long-term contract, and saying again how much was spent. We're fine. But again, I'd be concerned. The concern is if we end up not being not getting a Champions League spot for the next edition, then maybe again we'll be losing money. Maybe that will cause a problem for us, some problems for us. Yeah, but we're fine right now, coach. How you feel about again what Danjuma did? I didn't pay attention to that. Can you enlighten me a bit? Maybe I'll get to understand that. Let's go for Bissouma. Going for Bissouma isn't that simple. I think they would want something in return. Plus, we've tried that before, and they've been a bit reluctant letting him go. It's not going to be that simple. Let's see again. I said it in the summer. We should get Nick Pope. People said he was no good. And now again, having 10 clean sheets in a row with Newcastle, and not the best defense in front of him. You could say that again, but some credit to the Newcastle defenders. If we're being honest here, yeah, he's a good goalkeeper. The question we asked them was how good he was with his feet. As I'm still not sure about that. Maybe I need to pay more attention to him. But it's not the end of the world. Let's see how the club are able to solve the situation right now. Bissouma is not Chelsea level. I think he is really. I think it depends. Everything comes down to the manager's demand and the Tottenham, the players they have surrounding Bissouma himself. He hasn't been himself. It's been again, he hasn't been that guy again that we saw. What was the club he left to before joining? I think Southampton, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Southampton? Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't been the same player ever since. Danjuma had a medical and media duty with Everton, and then yesterday he decided to not send his registration to the FA and instead went to have a medical with Tottenham. Well, do you blame him? If you were him, how would you feel again becoming part of an Everton that's 19th on the Premier League table and has just how many points in total? How many points? 15 points. So, yeah, what would you do really? If you're being honest? Yeah, again, I don't blame him really. Is it 15 points? How many points do they have? Yeah, I'm looking at the right column here. So yeah, I don't blame him really, and that has happened before. Maybe Tottenham learned what we did to what we did to them when they again when Willian has it. I don't know if it's the medical at that point was done, but again the story doesn't differ that much. Yeah, I get it now. That is as funny as hell, but I get it. Good afternoon, Coach. Any updates on Moises Caicedo? We'll get to that in a bit. Can stay calm, Fernandez. We really need this one. We really need one of them. Todd Boehly sign one of them and give a long-term contract, and the rest of fee every year. It's not that simple at this point. I think things has gotten way too complicated, but we'll talk about it in a bit. And I'm glad I already have Bobby in the house too. So when we get into that, Coach Manning, unless David Armstrong puts out a tweet or article, all the news fake. That's why I am worried about the midfield. Don't worry too much. Again, I think they're doing something. Good, good one to you too, brother. Yeah. Now, Bobby. Yeah, it's still morning where you are. Morning to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. It looks like
sorry,
again.
I had to unmute.
Yeah, so what I'm going to start doing whenever I ask you again, I say something to you. I'm going to keep talking until you comment. I'm not going to be waiting. But I hope you're doing well, brother.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy I'm able to join you again.
Brilliant. I'm
And
happy to have you as always, brother. Thank you so much. Let me ask you this, Bobby. The case of again, Marcus Thuram. Did you ever think it was going to happen, given that he gets to leave on a free in the summer? And there are other clubs interested. Barcelona are interested. Plus, I think Manchester United too are interested. And plus, again, he gets a sign-on fee if he leaves in summer. And the only people that will be eager to sell him right now will be his club, Borussia Mönchengladbach, because then they get some fee for selling him. But for him, he gets much more money in the summer. So, and he said openly he was gonna again he would take his time to explore his options before making a decision. So that was when I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Again, we weren't going to be able to offer him anything that will make him say, okay, you know what, to heck with the sign-on fee in the summer. I'm just going to join Chelsea. Your thoughts?
well, he and his agents and his team, as it were, are in it for themselves in terms of their first priorities, their own interests. The issue with Marcus Thuram is that we need to know what Marcus Thuram wants to do. What that sounds to me is that he's looking at two things: the money on offer to him and the project on offer to him. I think we can give him reasonable money and we have a good project. It's important for us to be in the Champions League for a player like this. But even if we're
which
not,
isn't guaranteed at this point.
well, exactly, that's the handicap we're creating for ourselves.
Mm.
But even if we're not, we can still offer something, and there's every incentive to build up to the Champions League the following year. Does that increase our chances? Not being in the Champions League reduces our chances. It does, especially with the competitors that probably will be in the Champions League. But being in the Champions League gives us a very, very good position, because I don't see him as a Barcelona type of player, to be honest. I don't. Barcelona is an attractive club, but you know, there are certain players that just don't fit into how they are. Um, is he a United player? Possibly. Is he a City player? Possibly. It depends on what is on offer there.
Mhm.
I personally believe, you know, call me biased, but I think the Chelsea project is one of the most attractive projects in world football. That's why we
Yeah,
have to
I
do our
think, yeah,
utmost.
again, because in a year or two, we'll be unbeatable practically. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Well, you know, that's left to be seen, but you know, that's why we have to do our utmost best to be in the Champions League positions because you know, the summer, which I think is where we're now left for the rest of our deals, unless something really miraculous happens this January for the last few days. Um, the summer is going to be very competitive, and we can compete, but without Champions League, we put ourselves in a hand in a disabled position.
I agree with you. Without Champions League football, it's going to be difficult to get some of our targets. So we might as well try the best we can to get them right now. So that makes perfect sense. We'll be moving to the next topic in a bit. The case of Marcus Thuram, I never, again, I strongly believed he was going to join us. Even when the rumors were that we're in advanced negotiations with his camp, I still didn't think it'd come because it's very difficult for him to forfeit the sign-on fee and come. Hello, big up, coach. Big up. Really blessed. Again, I hope you're doing well. The market is getting crazy now. 100 million on Enzo is crazy fee. Should we strike a deal really again and do away with Enzo? We'll get to that topic in a bit, but I'll highlight this because again, it asks a very important question there. I don't need to run midfield again, right back only. I don't think we really do need him. We have Datro for final. To me, I think Datro is a more complete footballer. But the question is, I think you could say the lure to the attraction maybe to Ram is that again he's played maybe in what is perceived as a much better league, the German league versus the Norwegian league. Plus, he's exploded this particular season. But that's by the way. Let's move on from that one. Please, guys, keep liking the stream. We're at 45 likes right now, but we should be doing better than that. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. Let's shoot for 300 plus like we did yesterday. And believe me, I know we can do that. Again, Fahmi Abdurrahman says, good morning, coach and Bobby. Enzo will cost 120 million plus 40 million tax. Is that euros or pounds? Be specific. And Fahmi Abdurrahman, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Let us know whether it's pounds. Yeah, but I think it's euros because we've talked about him enough to know the currency. How much will Enzo and Caicedo cost in the summer? There's no telling what will happen. The whole thing again comes down to how many clubs that be vying for their signatures, respective signatures at that point. The more people, the more clubs that are interested, the more the selling club will hide the price. Because if that's a bidding war, yeah, why not up the price? Let the highest bidder take the player. It's as simple as that. But I think we'll still get one of them this window, but probably will end up paying premium for the player, which is again very common for January transfer window. But something has gotten complicated. Two deals again. Todd has to complete Malo Gusto right back in Enzo. Even a pre-agreement for summer before new Chelsea FFP kicks in. Maybe, but we want them right now. I think the new owners, they're not spending that much money just to get in Enzo or whoever they're looking to get. Just again for it to be for that particular individual to come in the summer. No, they want to ensure that we're well equipped to fight for top four. Let alone at the end of the season we're not able to make it. Yeah, so that's why if you have heard the story regarding what's going on between us and Lyon, okay, they're willing to let go to sell Malo Gusto, but they want to keep him till the end of the season. And we said no, we want him right now. And if we're being honest, again, objective, the truth is we want Malo right now because he's coming to help us again solve an issue, a lingering issue we've had for a while now in the right back position, if that makes any sort of sense to you. But that's by the way, we move on from that comment. Again, Robinson Canby, I hope you're doing well, brother. Coach again, Boehly will buy just who will he get in is the question. Again, I think it's not up to him to prioritize the purchase. I think he has to have a discussion with the technical director. I think he has to have a discussion with the scouting team, and also a discussion with what's his name, Graham Potter himself. And also they have to look they have to do their numbers thing to be sure again whoever they get in is a top priority and will help will fit into the team seamlessly and will help us start firing on all cylinders if that makes any sort of sense to you. But that's why the way we move on from that one. Yes, people keep liking the stream. We're at 56 likes, which means again we're moving real quick. I say again a Bissouma, a Potter boy. Okay, so which means he played at Brighton, not Southampton. So I mixed things up. Who's the player that we've been linked to that's playing at Southampton? Okay, that's Romeo Lavia, the former the Man City Academy product. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, let's see. Yep, hello again, hello to you too, Hakam. I hope you're doing well. Come on, people, keep liking the stream. 56 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Thank you so much. We'll move on from the Thuram topic here. And if we get again to all the topics we'll have on time, then we'll be able to continue building the lineup. If not, we'll dedicate that to a particular date and get it done. Let's see what my brother says here. Again, the Undertaker CFC Enzo will go to Madrid in the summer. They are looking for a second central midfielder. Really? Even though, again, they have a lot of young stars there. But that's by the way, again, let's see. This one here says Chelsea have also antagonized Benfica by informally offering to meet the Liga Portugal leaders 120 million valuation of, again, asking price for Enzo Fernandez in December, only to attempt to negotiate that fee down in January. If that really happened, then that's not okay. I will be pissed too. But for me, since it's informal, again, I'll take it with a pinch of salt and find a solution and let the player who openly, again, made it clear that he wants to leave the club. But what are your thoughts on this particular one?
Who, Enzo or Caicedo?
The case of again, just forget about the picture. In this case, they're talking about how we've antagonized Benfica by informally agreeing to pay the release clause, and then in January, we started saying something different. Your thoughts on that story?
Well, we've moved on from that. Everybody's moved on from that, haven't they? You're going back to what happened earlier on in the window.
And that's the truth. This is just them pulling what has happened before. But go ahead.
The whole antagonized thing, if somebody offering you as much as 85 million is antagonism, I just find that really funny. That's old stuff they're bringing up. I'll talk a bit later about things like that. But, they're insisting, it seems, on the buyout clause, which takes away their ability to stop the deal anyway. So I don't know. To me, it looks very difficult now. I've sort of taken my mind off Enzo and Caicedo. Caicedo, 100 million.
We'll talk about Caicedo in a bit.
Yeah, because they've lost.
So you're saying, but do you think we'll be willing to pay the buyout clause?
I think.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, we're still at a time where we can give our 8.5-year contracts. I think if we the trouble is, look, it depends how badly or how important the sporting directors think he would be to the club. It really does. And I don't know if we do, it won't be till the very, very last minute of the window, because we'll try not to. And we still have to do the Gusto deal. And there's a slim possibility that we do that. FFP, the people that are looking at our books and balancing our books will look into that. Will we let someone go? I don't know. You know, people are talking as if the squad is overstocked. Not quite. You
Mhm.
know, we have a lot of injuries, and we have a lot of room for depth. So I don't know if we're going to just offload people like that. Um, and also, our former owners board made things difficult for us with big wages. That's why we can't get rid of people like Lukaku and so on. Time will tell, but will we pay that buyout clause? From the current position, I think it's unlikely. But Chelsea being what they are, they can always surprise you. They could turn around and say, right, we
Mm.
need this guy. We can't get anybody else. Here's the 127 million plus, because I hear the tax payments are involved as well. Um, for the player, that's a lot of money. A lot of money. You know me, I'm usually not bothered about the cost of players, but this is quite high. And I don't really see Enzo. Is Enzo really that good a player to do that? Well, let's put it
I
this
would
way.
say he is.
Oh, well, you know, if he is, then it's very likely we will do that.
Mhm. But let's see what the club does. We'll move to the next topic in a bit. Enzo, again, I've read that one. John, a big up to you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. And Courtney, it's been a minute. How are you doing, brother? Please do let us know you're fine. And more importantly, if you haven't, guys, again, take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the love. As soon as Chelsea looking again at a player, they become the most expensive. And that is especially true in the January transfer window. It doesn't matter the club you are. Once you start looking again at a player, a good player, recognized, known player, you pay premium for that player in January because getting a replacement isn't usually, again, usually easy because club didn't expect to lose that player at that point. And once you come in, it takes time to scout the player really sometimes, except if you've been scouting the replacement for a long the time before before the interest for the player starts coming in. Lavia plus Enzo could also be a dream midfield, and Lavia is cheaper than Caicedo. I'm just saying again, if we're looking for a defensive-minded midfielder, why aren't we? Maybe we are, but I don't know. Why aren't we looking at again? Looking at Ismail Benessa again at the AC Milan midfielder. He's extended with AC Milan. That's the truth. But his buyout clause is just £50 million. That's given the player he is, his quality, man. Why are we wasting time? But that's why again maybe they don't like him. Chelsea should be very careful not doing a panic buys. I don't think anybody again. These are players again. I don't think these players again maybe panic buy from a monetary perspective. Maybe that may well be the case from a financial perspective. Let's see what happens. Again, this is my brother, the beautiful game. Big up, bro. I hope you're doing well. And thank you so much for helping educate those in the chat. Nightbot is not a human being. It's an algorithm. It says hello to you. Yeah. Again, also, again, if you use all caps, it blocks you. So just on time, it's not a human being. £100 million for, yeah. We'll talk about that in a bit. Again, did it freak you out? I'm annoyed with Brighton about the price tag on Caicedo. Chelsea should get away from Caicedo. Here's what I want to say to you. How would you feel if somebody let's say, for instance, take your employer, take something, your employee, not one, and then the employee comes back and also, let me say, take your supervisor or your manager, somebody that manages your company, and then boom, the manager comes back and start taking the employees from your company. If you were like if you're saying something like just products, let's say you have a product on the shelf and somebody come and wants them all, that's fine. But what are you saying? When you have again, for instance, a manager, somebody that's managing your company, you like so much, and somebody comes and takes that manager from you, and the manager comes back and start taking employees, you will not be happy. So I don't blame them. Plus, this is January transfer window. But I still think it could still happen. We've seen that happen before. You show again, you're not happy the way the other club again how they are seeing you as a player shopping mall. Then they learn to respect you and come back to the table in a respectable manner. You get a deal done. After all, we're hearing they're on the verge of signing again what a player that's believed to be will be a direct replacement for Moises Caicedo. So, but we get to that in a bit. Again, people want 66 likes. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. Remember, let's keep it average at 300, but we can only do that if you believe we can. But that's by the way. Again, the only way we pay that buyout clause straight for Enzo is if we sell some players. Ziyech and Pulisic has again, they do have some interest. Yep. I'm hearing that Juventus they want Juventus won Christian Pulisic, and Newcastle wants Newcastle they want again what's his name, they want Hakim Ziyech on loan, but I don't think we'll loan him to them. But that's by the way, and I'd say again if the possibilities there, keep Ziyech really. If we don't need if it doesn't come down to us needing to make way to any of the incoming players, we should keep Ziyech. But that's by the way, we move on from that. What else do we have here, Brighton? That has happened again a few days ago, and we'll talk about that more. For Mac Allister, that's probably one of the reasons why they're mad at us right now. We'll get to that in a bit. Again, in my opinion, Enzo will be the priority this January because he will not be there in the summer. If Bellingham goes to a Liverpool FC, Real Madrid will surely get him. Enzo now, then maybe Lavia to pay him. Lavia, again, is a good shout, really. We haven't spoken about him in a while. Caicedo is not it's not worth more than 65 million. Okay, we will talk about that in a bit. Please keep liking the stream. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible, people. Thank you so much for all the support. Enzo must come to Chelsea. Yeah, that's your desire. Let's see what else. Who else have I not read the comments here? Let's see. Should the taxes be accompanied with the transfer fee at the same time, or can the taxes be again structured on its own? Taxes usually can separate. Again, the principal, I don't know the term for it, goes to the club, the selling club, but the tax remains. That's for the government. So I'm not sure again how that is structured. So I'm not going to get into it. Lyon again have started looking for a replacement for Malo Gusto. Yep, again, he's a player I want. In my point of view, Chelsea are not serious to bring in a midfielder. Okay, that's your point of view. Good. Toddy to manage the deal for Enzo. Of course, and Yawa, again, Yama Yawa, I like your name. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Coach, which other players do you still want by the transfer deadline? It's hard to say, really. For me, again, even beyond Caicedo, I want Ismail Benessa. He's not your typical DM. He's well equipped. Again, you could say the most all-around DM available on the market right now. Who else? Again, for the attacking area, I've always wanted a central attacking midfielder, so to help us diversify our chance creation, so we're not that predictable. Because right now, again, all the chances we create all come from the flanks, and again, once the opposition are able to stop us from coming at them from the flanks, creating chances for us becomes again, we need some magic ones to make it happen. Collins Okado, let Chelsea sign Mac Allister. That Mac Allister, again, our effort to sign Mac Allister is the reason why we're here where we are today. So yeah, we're moving from that one. I really think Chelsea's first again want to get the Gusto deal over the line so that Lyon does not increase the price as they see. But we buy an expensive midfield for it could all be no. If they risk it, they're going to lose him on a free. I don't think he has so much left on his contract. I keep building the lights up, people. We're 72. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Thank you so much for it. And I'm glad we didn't sign Trossard. Why did you say that? We want to know. You can't just throw that at us. You have to elaborate. That's how we operate. Yeah. But that's, by the way, guys. Again, anybody that I haven't read the comments here, apologies, guys. I may well scroll to the very bottom, but I will try the best I can to get your subsequent contributions. But let me just try more. Not taking the employee or manager away for free. Yeah, exactly. The company manager are making huge profits and enjoy the. I like this. This is a counter argument to what I said, but at least what I said makes sense to you. I've just used that analogy to explain. But it's huge money. But still, again, you don't want to lose so much. They feel like if you ask Brighton, they will tell you they feel like they can make it to top four against European football, and which is more money for them. That will you get that now. If that makes any sort of sense, but that's really funny. So thank you for that. Trossard under 30 million. Caicedo 100 million. Total absurdity. No shocking though. Again, teams will make money from Chelsea willingness to spend. Not willingness to spend. We're desperate, really, if we're being honest. Buy Enzo now. Remember what Barcelona did to us last summer. They hijacked each and every player. I don't think they'd be able to afford Enzo even in the summer. If Potter is smart enough, won't end up selling against Ziyech. He is the most creative player. We have right now, if we're being honest. But if we find a replacement, they may well let him go because I think he wants to leave. If he's changed his mind, there's no way telling, and I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't think Chelsea needs Caicedo. Okay. Good boss again. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well, Prince. Let me see anybody else. And Glenn, how are you doing? I'm just gonna say hello to those that I haven't said hello to, and now scroll to the very bottom. Elam Friday. Good afternoon, bro. Good afternoon to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding time to join the show. Failed experiment. Go for Enzo now and put the 120 million euros down, or we lose both Enzo and Caicedo in the summer. We brought all these attacks we need to help them with a decent midfield. That's a delicious comment right there. If we don't, again, they will struggle to a consignment measure, really. Also, Cornigan would be a good Caicedo alternative and would be cheaper. Yeah, well, I hope the club are looking at those players. Again, Modric would have gone again into Arsenal, not because we hijacked the deal before the decision. Not really. If he didn't want to come, he would have still. Again, Shakhtar Donetsk would have found it even difficult to sell him to us. Yeah, if he really wanted to go to Arsenal, he wouldn't be our player right now because all parties have to come to an agreement for that to happen. We cannot get Caicedo to get Enzo's quality. It's hard. Yeah, that's the truth. And Neche, again, a big up to you. Let me see what else do we have here. Good morning, boss. Enzo to come this weekend. I believe it's a possibility. Never say never. Coach, I read Brighton put a bid for Leipzig, the Haidara, but the bid was rejected. Yeah, so that complicates the whole thing for us, really. If you get my point. If we cannot get Caicedo without desired price, but shouldn't talk about any of the players anymore. I think I don't know how to say it. Again, I was concerned this was going to happen, that at one time, again, we'll do something that will cause a problem between us and Brighton. But I don't think it's that serious now. There's a chance the media are all at the once just, blowing the whole thing out of proportion. But you never know. Let's get again. That is the reason he went to Barcelona. Rafinha wants to play for Barcelona. Yeah, exactly. Even though we had, again, we have beat everyone else then, he still went to Barcelona. That's why I'm saying if really, what's his name? Mudryk wanted to go to Arsenal, which he wouldn't be our player right now. That is the reason. Yeah, thank you so much. That again, Potter out. If we lose to Fulham, yeah, good luck. It's never gonna be like that simple. How on earth have I not seen this channel? Definitely gonna sub in and like my again. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, welcome to the family. We appreciate that. So that's it. Again, we move to the next topic, people, and just keep liking the stream. We're at 77 likes, a few more to get it to 100. Remember, we're shooting to make it an average of 300 every day, but that's only possible if you feel like we can do that. Let's move on. We've talked about Caicedo. The next one we have here. This is, again, a subsequent move for Paul Winstanley and Caicedo have left Brighton unimpressed with Chelsea's new ownership group. Interest in Enzo Fernandez remains active. I think this is one of the issues. Yeah, there's something else. I don't know. There's something else, Bobby. If you're there with me, this again, subsequent move for the guy you call Morgan Stanley, plus Caicedo left Brighton unimpressed with Chelsea's new ownership group. Just like we've always talked about how we need to be cautious of how we're going to them like the shopping mall for players. And it didn't stop here. We heard, again, according to, was it Fabrizio Romano who reported that we went in for 55 million, like, somebody also in the chat, they say, for Mac Allister, one of their best players too. again, we tried to bid for him. So it's like, if you were, again, the president of Brighton, you'd be annoyed too. You can at some point. I think this is the truth why we're seeing what we're seeing, that they now want 100 million pounds for Caicedo. Bobby, your thoughts?
I think they want 100 million for Caicedo simply because they've lost Trossard more than anything else. Are they annoyed at us coming for their players? Well, if we don't go for the players, somebody else will. That's the lair of the land, isn't it? It happens.
Mm-hmm.
People come for our players. There's all this talk of people wanting Ziyech or wanting Gallagher, or Liverpool wanting Mount. Trouble is,
Mm-hmm.
wanting is one thing and getting is another. So they have responded and put 100 million price tag on Moises Caicedo. I don't think he's worth that. I'm not sure what he does that will warrant us spending 100 million, especially in a market, in an area where we can get other players to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lavia, the chap at Onana, um, Kone from Dortmund. There's several others that can do the same thing. I'm yet to really understand what the 100 million is about, other than to say he's not for sale. Um, so I have less hope in the Caicedo deal, to be honest. As I said, anything's possible. If Winstanley feels he is worth the extra effort, then
Mm-hmm.
so be it.
No, I
But
don't think it's worth 100 million too. But go ahead with what you were saying.
yeah, so there's him. I don't think we're going to go for now. And Enzo, well, it's up in the air. I don't know. It's possible, but I think chances for him is slim. I think if the club is wise, they will be looking elsewhere. Ismail Benassar, he's just, although he's got a 50 million buyout clause, he's just signed a new deal with AC Milan. He is 24 years old, which is slightly out of the range of players we tend to look at these days. And I don't know if they've spoken to him at all. I don't know if he even wants to leave AC Milan.
Now,
That's
we were
another
linked
thing.
with him.
Well, being linked and the truth of the matter is yet again two different things. Being linked to a player doesn't mean to say that the club has actually approached that player. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
media
Mm-hmm.
talk. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we have. Maybe we've spoken to him and he's turned around and said, "No, I want to stay at AC Milan," which is very unlikely. I think the Chelsea project attracts anybody. Once Chelsea come knocking on the door, at the very least, the player will listen. It's that good a club and that good a project. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I feel there are a few days left. It would be unwise if they don't do something in the midfield, um, unless there's absolutely nothing that can be done. Um, I don't know. They might decide to gamble. They might decide to gamble on Ruben for the rest of the season, Gallagher, and what we have in midfield, and hope that João Felix further up the field can provide us with enough creativity. It's not what I would do, but there you go. It's a difficult one. Mac Allister, yet again, they'd be reluctant to get rid of him as well. Um, I don't know, and I don't blame them. Brighton have their own ambitions. They've made money from player sales. They don't really need to
Mm-hmm.
sell anymore. So they're not going to make it easy, are they? But the
No,
summer
they're
would be
not.
interesting.
I don't blame them, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
The
blame
summer
them,
would be
Bobby?
interesting. No, no, no. I don't. I don't at all. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. But looking at the bigger picture, um, if they, I understand they would maybe the player that they were trying to bring in to replace
Mm-hmm.
Caicedo, the deal didn't go through. Um, I don't know. If someone comes up to you, a club like Brighton, and drops 65 million, you may consider things. I don't know. I don't. I don't think it's going to happen anyway. I don't think they're going to sell him this January at least. Summer will be interesting. Many clubs will be running
Yeah.
around after these guys. I don't believe AC Milan. I don't believe Real Madrid are interested in Enzo,
They're
unless
packed in that area. They're packed in that
they're so
area, for
unless
being
they're prepared
honest.
to lose
Mhm.
Camavinga or Chomeni.
Which
They're going to lose
they
someone.
openly said they're not letting him go. Arsenal wants him
Yeah.
on loan, and I think we even inquired if
Yeah.
for his availability, loan option. Yeah, but he's not
So
available.
they're not going to look at Enzo. It's too
No,
much
they're
of a
not.
luxury, even for them. The
Mhm.
people I'll be
Okay, let me
concerned
catch
with
up.
there
Yeah,
would
go ahead.
be
Sorry.
Man City. Man City. If Man City lose, what's that player? Gundogan, or who's the
Mhm.
one that Barcelona wants that's out of contract soon?
Bernardo, I think Bernardo Silva. Is it Bernardo Silva?
Yeah, if
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
if they
Bernardo Silva.
lose
Yeah.
them, then they may look at Enzo. And if they're in the Champions League, then it's a big problem for us.
Yeah. Right. Again, Maxwell Ochieng says, "Who are the new signings for Chelsea right now?" We have Dacho Fofana, we have Andreas Santos, we have Mihailo Mudryk. I think I'm missing one more. Again, none in Madueke. Yeah, again, at those. Again, more to come, hopefully. So, Brighton triggered costs. They know Trossard has gone. Yep, Trossard has gone. And now they don't want to get rid of their crucial midfield. And like I said before, that again, that's a very good, very bad. Yeah, Sheila, thank you so much, Glenn. But the comment is far further down. Again, thank you for saying that. So yeah, we signed like 5 already this window. But what I'm saying again, Brighton also wouldn't want to lose all their best players because they have a chance of maybe again securing a European football if you pay attention to how well they played and well they are where they are. And to my brother Zion, big up, bro. Hello, brother. Again, I hope you and the panel are doing well. I hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. If you haven't, guys, please go check out Zion's YouTube channel. He'll be hitting 2K subscribers soon, and we can actually help him get there as soon as possible. Whatever time allows us, share the link to your channel. And again, you don't even have to ask me as long as you're mod here. Share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. Guys, let's keep, again, beefing up the like count. We're at 86 right now. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Remember, we want to keep the average at 300 per show. So please keep pushing. Let's get it to 100 plus likes as soon as possible, guys. Brighton, we're trying to have Colwell on a permanent. I didn't know that. This window, really? I didn't know that. So again, that makes some measure of sense right now. Boss, again, please, do you think we can get a very good midfielder and a chip player from again South America, Africa, Asian, and the whole Europe? Again, Omo, I'm tired. Me, I'm tired. But here's the thing: it's not that simple. They scout players, and I'm sure they've looked at all these places you've mentioned. But it's not that simple. Again, to find players that will fit into your project. We never wanted to sell him, but still agreed for a loan. I don't think we were again. We were a bit reluctant actually to even let him go out on loan. What about Romeo Lavia? I think you already have a good answer. We were linked to him, but nothing serious. Just like Glenn says, yeah. And Glenn, thank you for answering that. What do we have here again from Mr. Amazing? Again, hi. How do we get Enzo for 120 million? Would there be a fine? Again, a ban. Again, would there be a fine or ban for Chelsea if we make the purchase? I don't think so. But again, it's more than that. You don't want to come across as far again as Santa Claus to other clubs. Again, let me say simply phrased, you don't want to set a dangerous precedent. I know you have to pay premium in a January transfer window. Yeah, but you'd be careful what you do. If that makes any sort of sense to you. If Brighton wants Colwell, they should pay 100 million euros. Yeah, because it's that good, really. Enzo in total, again, in total with tax would be 160 million. Wow, maybe it's factored into it. I think it's factored into it. I don't know how that is structured, really. Keep smashing the like button, people. Yes, again, 88 likes, 12 more to get it to 100. Remember, we want to keep the average to 300 per show. But yeah, Sheila, yep, again, thank you for that. Modric was brought, yeah.
I think the sporting directorship team and the guys doing deals have done very, very
Mm-hmm.
well. But this midfield situation has really challenged the entire Chelsea structure and network, because I
Mm-hmm.
think they're challenged now. They need to be able to um, find an unknown, find a relatively unknown. I know it's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. You can't, you can't squeeze blood out of a stone, or is it water out of a stone? However,
Mm-hmm.
that saying goes. If it's not there, it's not there. But you don't know. There's so much. They've done well. They've gone to South America. They've gone to Brazil. They've picked up Andre Santos. But Andre Santos is going to be somebody that he won't. I'm looking at it now, and I'm seeing. He won't come in immediately. He's going to eventually be a homegrown quota like Casaday. Casaday, the first year learning the language, integrating with the development squad, the second year playing more with the first team,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. Then the third year he comes in, and he will come in through that program as a homegrown player. I
Mm-hmm.
think Santos is the same sort of program. He might move quicker, but he's not on the trajectory for an immediate first team appearance. That's why they were quite happy to let him go and play in the under 21 championship. People
Mm-hmm.
may say, "Oh, it's because he doesn't have his work permit yet." I think, work permit or not, they wouldn't have stood in his way for that, and I think he's on a program. So, having said that, it's harder because getting a player that can hit the ground running is tough. You've got to look at all these other leagues. You've got to look at Portugal, Holland, probably even Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
Africa, perhaps. I don't know much about the African leagues, but um, it's difficult to really pick out players from there. I
From
don't
Africa,
know.
here's why. From Africa, usually again youth players, or again like under 19s or 18s, because the one thing for the best players in Africa are all in Europe.
Yeah.
So to get a talent that you can sign that comes in won't have a work permit issue in Africa, which means the player must have played for their particular country and represented them to a certain percentage as the rule demands. So usually the Africans they get are already in Europe, playing in Europe or somewhere else. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I just mentioned that because the scouts' tentacles have to really be spread wide. So
Mm-hmm.
it then boils down to, well, how possible is it to get this midfielder that we so dearly want? It's
Mm-hmm.
difficult, and it's narrowed. That's why they do things like slap 100 million on Moises Caicedo, because they know
Mm-hmm.
it's very limited to get a player of his age, of his type, of his exposure to the Premier League. It's a ransom money, basically. Um, so the skills of our team come into play. If it's proved to be impossible, well, we have to find a way to manage what we've got and try and make sure that what we've got gets us to the Champions League. A thrust for the Champions League positions has got to be the aim of this club. As difficult as it is, we have to have that bloody mindedness to say this is what we want, either
Yeah.
via the Champions League or through the league positions, because it's so important financially for us to bring in more. The players we want. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Nkunku, please, Nkunku is signed, sealed. Delivery is all that is left. Delivery from in the sense again, all that is left is for us to for him to join us in is it June? Just again, everything is sealed. Don't worry about that. It's been confirmed. Again, probably can again unintentionally by the Leipzig president or again our director, technical director, plus Fabrizio Romano, and then in an interview they clearly say it's done. He's a Chelsea player right now. All that is left is again maybe let me say official announcement from the club. how can again a negotiations be deemed disrespectful? Yeah, it can happen. Tibas Al Salifa, if you're being honest, I don't know how else to explain that. Benfica must think that we are some Marky Mouse club. Again, we might be on the Fulham Road. Maybe that's why they confuse us with Tip Top from the FC. Again, even I think even in a store, there's a way you talk to the store clerk. It comes across as you being rude or something like that. But I don't want to get into that. But I get your point. We don't really know what's happening. We don't know if in fact we agreed to pay that much money and then end up saying, you know what, we're changing our mind. Would you again sell him to us for a certain amount of money? We don't know. With equals, okay, yeah, the mathematics you did up there. Pulisic is coming back in March. Yeah, but even at that, we're hearing that Juventus wants him. Yeah, but let's see what happens. Every knocks off a pound of Caicedo, you know what to do, guys. Yes, you guys are absolute. You people are absolute legends. So people keep liking the stream. We're 102 likes right now. Let's move for 200 likes. 300 is the average. We want to keep it at again every show. So thank you for saying that, Glenn, and thank you for always finding time to answer some of the questions in the chat. It does help because that's I will have less to read. Yeah, thank you. Again, not this window. Okay, in the summer. Yes, guys, please keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. It helps the channel reach a wider audience. This is Santiago Munoz. We can sign again Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I know they have Real in their name too. Yeah, I think somebody has mentioned him. He's a DM, right? Yeah, again, I don't know his price tag and the length on his contract. Maybe we should talk about him again during the show or another show but I need to research him well. Let's see what we have here. Temitope Oluwa Kanmi. The last name is a bit difficult for me. Big up to all mentors and great minds in the house. Coach and Bobby, but to you, my Niger brother, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Is Caicedo a defensive midfielder? Hybrid. I think more of a box-to-box midfielder than a defensive midfielder, which is what again what Potter prefers to play with. He doesn't like again that traditional, your stereotypical defensive midfielders. Caicedo, I think, is his perfect type of midfielder. Yeah, he can contribute in attack, but he's quick and also can read the game very well. We have to remember City paid 100 million for Grealish. That already changed the landscape, so we can actually do that. Yeah, we can do that. And look again, nobody talked about that much. And I'm sure the money they paid for Haaland is something close to that. Nobody talked about it at that much. And we signed a few players and paid 100 million for Modric. 100 million for Modric is in euros. Grealish is 100 million pounds. Yeah, but we paid 100 million again. Not even up to that actually. If you pay attention to the numbers, the details. And they're going, wow, we're spoiling it for everybody, if that makes any sort of sense. But that's, by the way, Nitro. Nice to see you, Junior Nitro. Again, my question is, are these GP Graham Potter signings or data-driven signings? I'd like to know, since it's no guarantee GP will get these gents going next season. Wow. That's a serious, again, a question there. I'd say data-driven. They don't want to risk it. We know that before time. He's mentioned that sensible spending and data-driven, again, targets. Bobby, you want to add to that one there?
Yeah, I mean, this whole issue of the bias against Chelsea, I've been.
But if you want to talk about that one, fine. But I'm actually talking about this question from Glenn.
My question is, are these
Graham Potter signings or data-driven?
Look, I do want to talk about the bias afterwards, but before that, the whole issue of Graham Potter signings, manager signings, to me, when people say that, it shows they don't understand where and how super clubs operate
Hmm.
It's never about the manager. The manager is part of the project. The signings are part of the project. The reason they got rid of Tuchel was because they felt Tuchel couldn't fit into the project. He wasn't engaging in the signings in
Hmm.
the way that they wanted the manager to engage in the signings. The manager engages in signings. He's not going to have time to go and scout players. He's not going to have time to negotiate um, and all that sort of thing. But
Hmm.
they will consult him about players and ask him if he feels the players are suitable for the project. And the project is greater than the manager. The manager is just there to implement the project. This is why when Potter speaks to people like Modric and Gusto, he speaks to them selling the project, not selling himself, not selling his plans, but selling the club's plans.
Hmm.
So whoever they buy should be able to work with or without the manager. That's the objective.
Now, again, if that brings to mind the question again, the design of the project, because there has to be a design. I know it's not like a building, but there has to be a design. There has to be a structure for the project. The individuals that will be involved in the design of the project will include the manager, most likely, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah. The design of the project. The club has actually made their intentions known and the purpose of the design known, and it's being
Mm,
revealed with each purchase they make. You know, the long contracts, the age of the player, and so on. Now, the detail of the design, I think the club is very wise, and I'll encourage them even not to let the outline of the design known anymore,
mhm.
because a lot of these questions of, oh, what's Chelsea doing? Oh, the scattergun approach, they don't know what they're doing. Fine.
What is
Long,
the process?
yeah, what's the process? Long may that continue. Because what we have come to learn, if we didn't know already, is that
Mm,
the reason the media want to have this knowledge about what Chelsea is doing is to use it against Chelsea. There is a concerted attempt to disrupt, to inhibit the club.
mhm.
Period. The fact that the club was signing players on a long term contract, it wasn't illegal. It's not illegal. It's just a way to sort out their books like you do with any business to keep within the law. You know, other businesses, they do it with their taxes. They find ways to utilize tax laws to the benefit of the club. You know, one of the business. One of those ways may be to spend more. You know, if you spend more, you pay less taxes, and then they'll say, well, why not find a way to spend on things that the business really needs, and therefore we're saving money on tax expenditures, that sort of thing. This is what the club did. What did the media do? They made so much noise and so much kickoff about it, the biased media, the media driven by establishment clubs. We know who they are: Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, etc. And such
Mhm.
that UEFA reacted so quickly that as soon as next season, you cannot sign players for longer than a 5 year contract. To me, I find that hilarious, absolutely amusing. Okay, fine. Everybody's going to be in that. We have to make sure we get a lot of business done this January so we can do our long contracts. And come the summer, we think again and find other ways to work within the rules. Isn't it funny that
It
Barcelona
is.
last summer were actually doing things that was totally unethical, releasing financial levers left, right, and center, holding up transfer deals, cutting wages of contracted players, not paying some players for months and months on end, in some cases years, not paying loans, e.g., to Bordeaux for years, and every time this issue was brought up, the media's response was, oh, well, they're not breaking any rules. So, it looks strange, but it's okay. And UEFA, to this day, have done nothing. I think it's disgusting. I think it's corrupt. And
It is indeed.
targeted at Chelsea in any which way they can. I raised this last night on various platforms. I will keep singing this tune because it is outrageous. The fact that we are a club that is targeted simply for doing business, I don't think it's acceptable anymore. And I don't think our fan base should accept it, really.
No, I don't think we should. All right, let me get what more of what we have in the chat. Gives again those in the chat some audience because we keep it interactive here. We keep it inclusive. We're all equal. Those on the panel, those in the chat. And again, if you're watching, whether you're participating in the chat or not, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream. Again, we're beyond 100 right now, 120. Let's get it to 200 as soon as possible, and then we shoot to 300. And believe me, it is very possible. Only if you believe we can do that, and I know you want us to do that. Thank you for that. Again, delicious question right there. We appreciate that. Big up Kuchila and the crew. I hope everyone is doing well. I didn't let me to pay my night, brother. I've missed you. I hope everything is okay with you, bro. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Chelsea all the way. Give Potter, Prince, Messi, Ronaldo. Again, he will still play Mountain Gallagher. I'm not going to go into that, but you're killing me, really. Chelsea all the way. That's, by the way, the governor of Brighton have had a bid rejected again for their replacement. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Again, Liam Lane did send me an update. Abiola Mushood, we can go all the way again to bring home yet another Champions League. It's like a tradition to Chelsea. Yep, again, it just seems as if anytime we find ourselves in such a situation where we're struggling, you can say one problem or the other, we end up again getting the Champions League. Maybe that will happen. Never say never. Arsenal made 50 million bid for Onana. We should get him. Do you think Everton will let him go? I'll ask you that question again. They are in a relegation battle, and the guy just signed for them. There's no way they'd let him go. Except again, but usually what clubs do, if we're being honest, usually clubs go for players who used to the relegation, who fought for relegation and survived it. Because it's a different, again, you could say, it's a different demand altogether, if that makes any sort of sense. It's not like fighting for top four. The spirit to fight and get the relegation zone, it's a different thing altogether. But that's, by the way, let's see again. It looks again. Let's look at Morocco World Cup team. There are a lot of good players. We've talked about. I think Amrabat isn't he Moroccan. I'm not sure why we're not looking at him. But that's, by the way, we move on. This one here. Good evening, my brother. How are you? I'm good. Ogunka Daniel. How about you? I hope you're doing well, my brother. Again, I am doing well, bro. Again, doing well. Okay, but again, what about you? Yeah, okay, you know that you're speaking to a night ball, to a machine. That's hilarious right there. Yes, guys, keep liking the stream. 125 likes. Let's get it to 100 to 200 as soon as possible, please. The likes do go a long way for the chat. The channel. I'm tired. Tamidayo says I'm tired of Enzo Caicedo Wahala. Again, I will be spending my time here canvassing for follow and likes for this channel, guys. Smash the like button. Again, and let's grow this channel. Thank you so much, Tamida. I appreciate that. I love all the support. I appreciate that. Mopi Ramagota, again, do we really stand a chance in the top four this season, guys? I'm so scared. I don't want to imagine the next Champions League, edition of the Champions League without Chelsea. Calm down. Again, I think whatever happens, is either we win the Champions League, make it into top four. Maybe that will console you, but calm down. We will be all right. Again, just look forward to the future, because the future of Chelsea is so bright that you will glasses. You need glasses to look at it so it doesn't blind you. The immediate future, yeah, you have every right to be concerned, but I think we'll be just all right. Okay, so just calm down, brother. Let's see what else we have here. Matt Law even said it in the summer that Gordon wasn't Tuchel's target, but a data-driven target. Gordon interest this window once again proves that data over manager this end Man City. Yeah, again, you may well say that, Bobby. Again, for the record, I'm not the guy that wanted but to sign these players, his players again. Between again, I was told we were going to give GP his players, but I don't think that's the case. Let me see. The Premier League club is occupied. Okay. Thank you again. This is the first time I've heard someone say the project is bigger than the manager, and which is the way it should be. Any news on Asen Zarian? Nothing, not clarity, and I'm not going to go into as to why it hasn't happened. I think it would drag us into politics, and I don't want to do that. The channel has gotten into trouble a few times for it. But what I want to tell you again, the channel to which can with which to make the payment for the player, there isn't any that's not going to get the club into trouble because there are sanctions in place, and you don't try to navigate the sanction by finding loopholes. You will still get into trouble because there's politics, a lot of politics involved. So we'll move on from that. But the kid still wants to come to Chelsea. Probably, if you know what your problem is and you have the money to solve it, then what else? Again, Teriyima Emmanuel, thanks for that. And Ugo Henry, thank you, Monday, for finding the time to join the show. What about Asen Zarian? Let me talk about him. And PJ Curley, I don't think we need a garden at Chelsea. Big up to Kuchila and the panel for your delicious analysis. And thank you for being a delicious contributor. As always, I appreciate that. Again, Jacob Huggins, again, Chelsea fixtures, again, are spaced out. So we should be moving upward from now on. Maybe that will help. Again, plus the signings. Again, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all the support. What else do we have to talk about here? Here's the thing, Bobby, this gives me hope about, again, to a certain measure, again, the hope is that the fact is they're looking for a replacement. On the other hand, the rejection, again, makes you go, okay, we're in trouble now. They're going to be reluctant to sell. He says, again, Brighton have been rejected for Haidara of RB Leipzig, potentially looking, again, at Moises Caicedo replacement. Brighton's interest could ease their stance on the availability of Caicedo, who has attracted interest from Chelsea. So as much as this, again, gives you hope that they're looking for a replacement, but the rejection makes you go, okay, we're in trouble now. Bobby, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they are going to be looking for a replacement. Of course, that's a wise thing to do because ultimately they will lose Moises Caicedo for sure. He's one of those players that is more than likely to move on unless there's a silly injury somewhere. If he doesn't move this January, which is unlikely with the price tag they've given him, in the summer, he will be very hard to hold on to. Even if they keep that price tag, it'll be difficult because they will know the player himself would be happy to move on, despite what he's saying. So
he's showing signs that he wants to move on now. He likes every time we announce a new player, he likes the post. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, he does. He does want to move on. I mean, it's natural. He and so they're wise to try and find that replacement. But finding the replacement is not easy. If it was easy, Chelsea would have done it and moved on from him. So they will do it. I think they've made a bid, as I said, the bid was rejected, and they need to consider whether they need to make another bid. So yeah, there's hope. The complication comes from the price tag they've put on him. They don't want to lose him because they don't have a replacement, and they've lost Trossard and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it does give us hope. Trouble is, we shouldn't be waiting for them to be ready for us. We should still be looking
But
for
we don't have any option.
solution.
We don't have option. Okay, go ahead.
Well, as far as we know, we don't have options yet. I find it hard to think that having somebody like Christopher Vival and Lawrence Stewart, along with Winstanley, Paul Winstanley, I find it very hard to believe that they haven't got their eye on some players. What they might be thinking is, are they good enough? We've got people like Ismail Benassar at AC Milan. Is he
For
good
15
enough?
million.
Yeah, he is. It's just that the age range for for the club project, which clearly the club has a project, is the issue. Are they going to compromise that with the purchase of a new player? They might, or they might have looked at him and seen some things they don't like, because it's more
Mhm.
than ability, it's temperament, and it's your liking for the club. He might love AC Milan, and that might be a difficult thing to get out of his system. Players do fall in love with some of the clubs they work for. So,
But the
I
buyout clause is ridiculous, Bobby.
well, yes, it's low. It's low, but you never know. They might decide to increase it in the summer. I don't know. There's still a few days left. We'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If he with such a low, if he was such a great player as we are saying he is, why is there hesitation?
Here's the
That's
thing.
a
Let me
big
explain.
question.
The low buyout clause. Usually these days, players pay attention to that. They will agree. Okay, I want to renew, but I don't want the buyout clause to be this high because I want to leave if any club I want to join comes for me. If you remember the case of Juventus and Delete, before Delete left them, they were trying to renew his contract. The biggest issue they had was the buyout clause they wanted to insert in the new deal. Even what's his name again? I think we heard a story. I think I read a story about what's his name? The Portuguese international that plays for AC Milan too. Rafael Leao. He was cautious about that. He was saying again, he was cautious about the buyout clause they were going to insert. So players do pay attention to that because they've seen how problematic it can be when clubs come for them and they want to join the club, but then the club, the current club, will just sit back and relax. Again, they're not. You see, if you want him, just pay the buyout clause. Then sometimes forcing the player to stay longer than they want to at the particular club. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's not the case, is it? I mean it's yes, he's done that. Now,
Mhm,
does somebody want to go and trigger it? We don't know. Right now, Chelsea could be triggering it now. I don't
mhm.
know. But if they're hesitating around him, there might be something they've seen that they don't fancy. That's what
Possibly, yeah.
because they can't say they haven't noticed him. Another thing is you have to consider, playing in the Italian league and then playing in the Premier League are two different things. The pace is um, is uh, is very different, very
Mhm.
different. And looking good playing in the World Cup for your country, it's different. So maybe they felt, maybe I have no idea, but maybe they felt he's not somebody that can handle the Premier League. I don't know. I have no idea. Time will tell.
Time will tell, indeed. Time will tell, indeed. We can all hope for the best. Again, the prince says everybody should calm down. Chelsea is making top four. I hope that happens. And Ahmed says Brighton have really gained a lot from Chelsea, and you've taken a lot from them. So, what's good? What's good for the goose is also good for the gander, if that makes sense to you. But I think Caicedo is being overpriced, perhaps because Brighton don't have a replacement at the moment. Part of it. Two, it's January transfer window. Again, you pay premium during January transfer windows. Plus, we're desperate. They probably see, okay, we have the money, and we're not shying away. Again, we don't shy away from spending the money for players we want. So those are all the factors to consider. But thank you, Ahmed, for that. Kone is a DM for me. You have to elaborate. Why do you think, again, Lamek Zulu, why do you think Kone is the man? You have to elaborate. For me, if I say, again, my choice of all, again, of those, again, defensively minded players, for me, I would say Ismail Benessa, given, again, he's not your stereotypical DM. He has everything. Yeah, we move on from that. Let's see what else we have here. And be careful how you use all caps. Be careful how you use all caps. Nightbot will delete your message, except if you're a mod. And even if you're a mod, please do not use all caps. You'll be in trouble. Again, there are players. Again, there are players better than Caicedo for me. Yep, but do we know them yet? I don't get his game. I have been watching him, but again, what he brings in the game, I don't see. Again, just look at Kone. Again, is that Duna, Enzo again, Rice, etc. Yeah, Rice is again even at the bottom of my table. Please, Boateng, avoid. Please avoid using all caps. Your message will be deleted, and it's not a human being. It's a machine. It's a robot. It's an algorithm. If you use all caps, it will categorize your contribution as a spam, and it will delete it. Please don't do that, okay? And again, next it will actually suspend you for a few seconds or so. But that's by the way. Let's see again. Please like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe when you enter. If you've not, as it helps the channel and reach a wider audience. We are at 134 likes right now. Let's get it to 200 as soon as possible. Remember, we want to keep it to an average of again 300 likes per show. If Chelsea get Costa and Reece James again is fit, then Reece James is capable of playing the DM role. Yep. Again, like somebody mentioned yesterday, he played there for Wigan in the Champions League and won there in the championship and won their player of the year in that particular year in question. He was excellent playing there. Again, he's well equipped to do that. Really, he's actually well equipped to play as a 10. If you know what I'm talking about. Could goes to play again at right back if a new DM is not bought in January. And then again, most might be available in the summer. And if James plays centrally in the midfield area, probably he won't get injured as much because he won't be doing so much running. If that makes any sort of sense. Again, hey guys, again, when you are done listening to delicious analysis or words, you are on it, kindly take time to follow and like the channel. Very important. Thank you so much for saying that, people. I like it the most. I'd really reminding people to like again and subscribe to the channel. Prince Boateng, please again refrain again from using all caps. Avoid using all caps, so to speak. Coach, your man is good, and thanks for the good work. More thanks for you to you for participating. You provide great value. Francis again Ibariale. Hello guys, afternoon up the Charles. Thank you so much for saying that. Tanitaya Olua Ronkami says follow and like, guys. The most important business of the day is to take this again to 300 and more. Thank you so much for reminding people of that. Again, all I need now is Gusto and Caicedo. Let's see if the club does that soon. The one day dialogue. Thank you so much for that. We're at 139 likes. Let's get it to 200 likes as soon as possible. So we'll move on from this particular topic. We have this one here, which says, according to Enrique, not Enrique, Equip, I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's French. Lyon want in excess of 30 million euros for Malo Gusto. I think that's a good price for a player of such a talent and quality overall, if you want to phrase it like that. Malo Gusto, and expect Chelsea to return with an improved offer. The fullback has agreed a long-term contract with Chelsea and wants the move as soon as possible and cannot imagine it collapsing. Wow, that is some hope right there. He has agreed personal terms. He wants Chelsea, and there are other reports that say he doesn't feel like remaining at Lyon. Reports are the ground Potter called him and sold the project to him, and he's moved. Even as Manchester United have advised him to wait and not join Chelsea, he wants to come to us. So probably the French connection in our ranks may have given him a call too. We don't know. But Bobby, your thoughts on this? It gives me hope. Really, he's a talent. I do want at the club. While I wait for Bobby to unmute his device, I'm going to try to get one more comment there. All I need is Enzo. Let's see if that happens. I don't think Lyon is asking much. That's not too much for talent again of such quality, really. But go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, whether Gusto wants to come to the club or not is another matter. It's good he wants to come. It really is. But it's always down to the club, isn't it? I hope it can be done. It will be best for everybody. But I understand the sticking point is this going back on loan situation.
They want him back on loan, and we want him right now. But go ahead, brother.
Because he's their best player. Well, that's the negotiating skills of Lawrence Stewart. Can he negotiate this and get this player over the line? Time will tell.
Yeah, if anything, this is one when you look at it. The case of Enzo, we didn't go to the extent of him. Did he agree personal terms with us? No, he just he wanted to join us. But in this case, the kid wants to join us, and I'm hearing that we're able to sell. He can to sell the project to him. We promised him game time, which, yeah, it's understandable. With Chelsea, we have quite a lot of games to play, and he gets to play a lot of games too. But he's a player I really do want to see him again at our club. He's such a quality player. If you can, there's no talent out there that's close to Rich James in terms of technical ability. He is one. Some are actually arguing that he's more technically gifted than Rhys James. Watching from Togo, Jerry Carl. Jerry, thank you so much. I always like to hear why your flag, the flag you have in your hand, that's a Belgian flag. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it's not, then if it is, can you explain why you're using that? Was that an avatar you started using during the World Cup or so? Chelsea should walk away from this deal. I see, big up, bro. Nice to see you. More importantly, let us know how you've been. We haven't seen you in a while. But the question is, again, why should we walk away from this deal? Be specific. Are you saying about walking away from the Enzo deal, the Caicedo deal, and the Gusto deal? I really do want to know. So you have to be a bit more specific there. I'm waiting for you, brother. But more importantly, I want you to let us know again that you're doing well. More importantly, because we haven't seen you in a while, and that's how we operate because we're family here. So thank you for that, and get a better target. What again? You should name a few. You have to be specific. I am really curious here again what the project is about that makes these players always get so excited. For instance, let's say in most cases, if now they come to you, we've signed a Modric, we signed by the Chile, Dacho Fafana, and this talent, when you look at the output this past season, we're doing something special. And we'll let you know, we're also looking to get Enzo Fernandez, again, the best young player at the World Cup. Or we're also looking to get Caicedo, all those names. And tell you, yeah, again, it's a project. We may not be dominating at this point, but in a year or two, we'll be the best team in the world. A lot of players would want to be part of that project, and we will be winning quite a lot. Yeah. So if that makes any sort of sense to you, that is just me. Again, you can say using common sense to put some reason why a player would want to come. A player can say, they have Modric. They signed again. Look how much they're spending. They want to make this team the best team in the world. So I want to be part of that in a year or two, even forgetting about Champions League, if that makes any sort of sense. And they can tell you actually after all the signings, we may well be able to win the Champions League, if that makes sense to you. It's just being a good against salesman. Yeah. Go ahead, Bobby.
And another thing I wonder is why aren't we looking at these American players like Weston McKenna and Adams? I've forgotten his first name.
If anything, I want the midfielder. That's Adams.
Yeah, I don't know why. And even Ruben Neves, we're not really. I don't know. There's some players that we're not looking at, which I find curious. We're saying, gosh, why aren't we looking at Ismail Benassar? But also, why aren't we looking at these obvious ones, especially Ruben Neves? Strange.
Strange indeed, but maybe the numbers aren't pointing them to those players in question. Maybe that's what's going on. But again, we trust them. Like you said before, Bobby, we have to trust them, really. I think they've shown that they do a lot of research. I think the players they've signed, I think they all, again, look at Badiashile, look at Modric under how many minutes, again, he's shown he's the fastest player in the Premier League currently. All the signings, they fit in seamlessly. Although we haven't had the time to see what's in Dacho Fofana that much, but I think we should actually keep him and focus on signing more midfielders because he'll come good for us, if that makes any sort of sense. Good one there. Again, Edson's a good CDM, just like Kone. I feel Chelsea need a player like Rodri and Casemiro, and Alvarez and Kone are those players for Chelsea. Really, that's some statement right there, and they haven't paid attention whether that combo will be a perfect for us. We're being used. No, with the one. Listen, sometimes again, that's why sometimes you're advised, your financial or your market advisor will ask you, will tell you not to buy some certain product due to volatility or something like that. No, we want it now. And this is general transfer window. You pay premium when you want such high quality players. If that makes any sort of sense to you. Keep liking the stream, guys, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're at 143 likes. Let's get it to 100 as possible. Please like and subscribe, guys. Again, if you have not, actually helps the channel grow and reach a wider audience. Walk away from the Caicedo deal. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm watching from South Sudan, Moko. Again, Marco Agani, nice to see you here, my brother. I hope, again, you're doing well. Tamidaya, in a bid to push the channel towards growth and reaching a wider audience, we ask that you like and subscribe. Thank you for saying that. We should not be held to ransom by any club. Yep, that makes sense. As much as we'd like the club to get these players, we should not be held to ransom. We shouldn't bend over for any club that asks us for money. I'll just say take the check. It's a risk. One, I probably we're still going to find it difficult to overcome the precedent that was set by under the Roman Abramovich era, so to speak, given how much we pay for players then without even asking too much questions. But that's, by the way, in Coach in Blues. How are you doing, Lala, my friend? Ken, I hope you're doing well. Always nice to see you here. I appreciate that. And thank you so much. What do we have here? We should walk away from all these deals except Gusto. Paying 120 million, 160 million for Enzo. It's a good, yeah. I get it. Backside kiss and dubbing him again the new Fabregas, which again is blowing things away out of proportion. None of them is the new Fabregas. I'm going to say that right now. As much as I think Enzo will do more for us offensively, I don't think he's close. Fabregas in terms of chance creation, in terms of picking defense apart. No, if anything, he'd get more goals than Seska again for us. But that's why the way again, Madueke is a waste of money. Good potential, not a starter. 30 million pounds. Chelsea need another 30 million upfront to get Enzo. Again, need midfielders, not a promising winger for the future. Also, Modric and Felix. Boy, let's see what happens. And I hope you'll be happy if he proves you wrong. With Rod again, that's what I want to see. If he proves you wrong, I want you to say, okay, I'm sorry I said this about Madueke. For me, I think he's going to do well. But boy, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the show. Please, no American players. I think Caicedo is perfect. That's not nice, really. I want Tyler Adams can actually do a good job for us. But the question probably the club will be looking at, how is he going to do offensively for us? But in terms of protecting the defense, in terms of leadership in the center, in the midfield area, he's got that. And yeah, he's been excellent since that. Again, I'm trying to look at updates to see if anything comes up that I'd like us to talk about. And again, if you're watching, please, if you're on, and again, iOS device, keep pressing the heart icon of 100% icon, or any of the icons you prefer there. That does trigger the YouTube algorithm to get it to push the stream to more people who would be interested in the topics we have lined up. So please keep doing that. I appreciate that. You're welcome again. Keep just saying hello. Brighton, bring Gusto and Mac Allister. Mac Allister, you could argue, is one of the reasons why we've fallen up to, again, with Brighton. I'm not sure if it is right to say that right now. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. Let's see what else we have lined up here. And again, people keep liking the stream. 148 likes. Let's get it to 200 likes as soon as possible. I think we can actually do that, but only if you feel like we can do that. Yeah, we've read this and we've addressed that one there. What else do we have here? Again, there you go. This one here. Lyon right back, Malo Gusto has already agreed a 6.5-year deal with Chelsea and wants the move before the end of the January transfer window. So again, if they don't sell, they're risking keeping an unhappy player, and because his head has turned. He wants to join us. And here's something else I want to say here. We've actually getting the initial bid. They would have accepted it, but they wanted to keep the player on loan again for the rest of the season, and we wanted them immediately. And we all know why we want him. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to sign him and then let him stay alone there. Whereas the right back area is one of the biggest areas, again, of the area, an area of priority for us, Chelsea Football Club. So it wouldn't make any sort of sense to let him finish the season there. So yeah, again, that's the reason why this one hasn't gone through. But again, I think it will happen. It's looking promising, but I wouldn't advise you to hold your breath for it, because anything can happen in the market. I think if you remember, in the case of Enzo, there were reports out there saying Enzo will become a Chelsea player. He will sign a deal from the other year. Again, lots of outlets there were saying it's done, then boom. We're hearing everything again. Things are down in the gutter. We should push what icon, the heart icon, again, the red icon, like a okay. I don't know how to say it. You will see it. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe Liam can help explain better, and you'll be seeing something like this if you do that. Yeah. Okay, but that's, by the way, we'll move on right now. If you use an iOS, I think you'll see it there. I'm not sure if you'd have it if you use an Android device. Sorry again for the marginalization from Apple. Lucas Levi, the deal for Enzo is too expensive. We're not just paying 120 million plus taxes. It's 116 million. I don't see Chelsea doing that kind of business, and I don't want us to do it really, because that may well get us into trouble. Chinedu, Joseph, 30 million for Gusto. It's not much. It's a steal actually, but I'm saying we're getting him for that price. I think because of again his the length again what he has left on his contract. Let me do this. I think let me find out the length again. How many years is still left on his contract? Malo Gusto, transfer market. Let's see what we have. This one right here. Okay, again, Enzo Fernandez is the best for the midfield. Yeah, but at what price? Walter Omorogbe. Omorogbe must be Nigerian from the East. Omorogbe, I think East Bendel or somewhere. But again, that's all I can think of right now. So his contract expires. Yeah, so he gets to leave on a free practically in June. His contract expires in 2024. Yeah, so again, that's why probably, again, the negotiations hasn't been as difficult or as complicated as other players we've looked at. So I think we'll get this one over the line. But let's see. And we're hearing they've started looking at options as cover if they miss out on from the player. And he's just 19. But look how good he is. Let's spend 150 million to get both Enzo and Malo. I'm not sure what the club is going to do. But let's, again, Bernard Comedy. I feel Enzo Fernandez will come, but because of the money, will be, again, a deadline day deal. Dominic Maximilian, again, Eneche. That's a possibility. But let's see. Let's see what we have here. Adam would be a solid pickup at CDM for our future. Yep, I love him. And he can actually do a good enough job right now. He's better than what we have, really, except for N'Golo Kante. But he's a fine defensive midfielder. Reads the game very well, very physical. You can muscle him off the ball easily, and he's a leader. He's a natural leader. So again, yep, I got that correct. I knew it was from the east area, southeast. Again, since it's Edo, correct me if I'm wrong. Edo counts as southeast. Mogbe is from Edo State. Okay, Aurora, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. Again, Enzo's price tag is simply it's ridiculous. It's beyond the ridiculous. To me, I would say it's redonkulous, really, if we're being honest. But again, it is the January transfer window. When you want such a talent, you pay premium. That's how, again, things are. This again, greetings, everyone on the panel. Greetings, Coach. Greetings, Aurora. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well, brother. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Let's see, what else do we have here? This one here. Mount is good, but he needs, again, I'm not going to talk about Mount today, really. To put effort and we forget about Enzo N'Golo, we'll be back in February again, and then we're close. Like and subscribe again to the channel, guys. Let's push for a wider audience. Thank you so much for saying that. We're at 151 likes right now, 49 more to get it to 200. Remember, guys, we're shooting for 300 likes, and that's possible only if you think we can do that. So With Don, I think I'm hopeful this one is going to happen. I strongly believe it will happen. So we'll move on from that one. And we have this year again, Chelsea are currently not given the green light on Gallagher to leave after what happened with Lukaku. And they are not accepting loan deals. So, Bobby, how would you read into this particular comment right here, referencing the Lukaku situation? What does that again have to do with again the mentioned Gallagher situation? Again, I think quoting Fabrizio Romano here. So the Lukaku situation, how has that affected things for Chelsea?
Well, Lukaku's a problem, isn't he? He really has burnt his bridges. He's on expensive wages. I'm not sure how the debt cancellation has applied to his purchase. I would like to believe it has cancelled the £100 million purchase, but the fact is that the wages of north of 300k a week is a problem. I don't know how that affects Gallagher, to be honest. I don't really see the correlation. I'm glad that we're not loaning Gallagher anyway. Maybe how that might impact Gallagher is the limited number of people you can have out on loan. And Lukaku would be somebody that would probably be someone that the club would definitely want to loan out if they cannot sell. Selling is virtually impossible. I can't think of anybody who will cover those wages. And Lukaku being the person he is, I can't see him taking a wage cut. So I don't know. I always come up, how do you solve a problem like Lukaku? That's always the elephant in the room. And in this day and age where we're looking at financial fair play, trying to balance our books and do things to allow that, Lukaku is definitely a thorn in our side. He really is. That
And to
guy
make
is a
matters worse, Bobby, what do you think about, because him coming out openly saying he wants to remain at Milan, that practically reduces again you could say compounds the L that we'll take from him. But
Well,
go
has
ahead.
he said that he wants to remain in Milan?
Yeah, openly.
Does
Yeah,
Milan want him to remain?
They're probably part
Do
of
they
him. They're
want him?
probably the one that's been asking him to say that. But because if they can get Lukaku for anything you could say again anything south of 50 million, they do that. But go ahead.
To be honest with you, we're in a terrible situation. We're in a situation where we may as well give him out for nothing, because whatever happens, either we terminate his contract and pay 60, 70 million, or we let him go on loan and drag out the agony. It was a
Oh my
terrible
gosh, we're in
deal.
trouble there. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a horrible deal, one of many. And I don't want to keep mentioning this name because I know it makes certain people get upset, although fewer and fewer people as they start to realize what was going on. We had somebody in our board who was working diligently for themselves, and they did this club some mega damage. They really did. In the playing staff area, and upon that, in the sale, walked away with 20 million. I mean, I don't know. This has really put a sour taste in the whole purchase of the club.
So
I
you're
can
saying
only
now,
see
Bobby,
one.
what would make sense the most? Yeah, go ahead.
I can only see one way out of this. I think they will terminate his contract and take the loss.
Because he's still on our
70
books. So
million,
keeping
80
him, which
million.
means we'll still be paying his salaries, right? And plus we'll have to pay
Well,
into how much we owe them.
well, it will count against us in FFP anyway. If we
Oh my
terminate his
gosh.
contract, it's a cost, isn't it? Which will count against us. So keep him, you lose him, you lose. It was a horrible deal, a horrible deal, one of many, to the point where, you know, I can't, anyway, you know, my position on Marina, you know, I just don't accept some of the things that was done to Chelsea by her. I don't. And he's one of them. I can't see any other way out. They're going to have to lose about, let's round it off. Let's say about 75 million pounds because of this guy. It's a done. Who's gonna take him? Who? You know, if he's cut free from his contract, then someone will pick him up and pay him less wages and maybe benefit from it. It was a horrible position to be put in. Terrible, maybe Inter, since he loves them so much, they'll then say, okay, come to us, but we'll pay you half that amount. And he'll probably accept it because he's walking away with the money anyway from the terminated contract from Chelsea. You see what I mean?
Right.
It's checkmate. It's checkmate.
Yeah, and he hasn't helped matters. He's burned the bridge. He's burned the ground where there's even the possibility to build another bridge.
Let me tell you, he is the one player I have to sadly say, if he ever, he's going to have to, the turnaround he's going to have to do, if ever, and I don't think he wants to, he puts on another Chelsea shirt. He's one player that I'm convinced Chelsea fans will, for the first time ever, roundly boo in the stadium.
Oh yeah. Again, follow the statements on Twitter when that interview where he's saying he wants to stay at Milan. I think that's by design. Probably the club asked him to do that because they get him on the cheap if they want to buy him finally. That's by the way, Roger. Do you want to add anything to that, or should I move on?
He will want to do that for his own personal reasons, because if the club buys him out of his contract, he walks away with his wages in bulk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Roger. You want to add anything to that? Yeah, that's the truth. Unfortunately.
Good morning, Roger. My brother Roger is. I was going to ask about him actually. But,
I'm waiting for him to show his ID now. Go ahead, Roger.
Hola, senor.
Yeah, I agree with everything Bobby said. I'm waiting to hear that. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. Listen. It's so true though, because I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day Bobby falls over, hits his head, and goes 180 degrees in the opposite direction. But
God forbid.
Don't listen to him, Roger. We don't have to disagree. We just have to give our opinions. He's winding you up something. He's winding us both up.
Yeah, he's a wind-up merchant. No kudos for you today, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, Roger. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah. So I actually want to ask a question. But you're right, though. It's a lose-lose no matter what we do with Lukaku. It basically is. Financially, I'm talking about. But what my question is, if we do terminate the contract, does he actually walk away with his salary in bulk, as you said? I'm not sure, because...
You'd have to... The process involves, again, paying him some lump sum of money. If we were the one to initiate that, again, the talk that, okay, we want to terminate your contract, except if he does something unprofessional that we can look at and sue him.
Yeah, under guidelines, right, right.
Yeah, and say, we're done with you. We don't want you. Yeah, you cost it, so we don't owe you anything. I think like the case of Adrian Mitu, when he did what he did then, and all that, I don't think he's actually required.
Yeah,
exactly. So the club actually asked him to pay the club.
Yeah,
look at it like a redundancy,
ethics clauses. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I get it. I get the redundancy thing, but I wasn't sure. Is it a percentage? Is it in full? Is it paid over a certain amount of time? I don't know.
Here's one thing to bear in mind.
Fired, though.
As long as he behaves himself, as long as he doesn't do anything that crosses the line that FIFA will say, well, they don't owe you. Sure, we have to pay Inter how much you agreed, minus the loan fees and everything. No matter, it's not their business whether Lukaku breaks two legs or not. But go ahead.
Sure, and that's another thing. If it's in his clause that he can't be going skydiving or four-wheeling and he does something like that, then you can terminate. Yeah, I get it. There's all kinds of different clauses in the generic contract nowadays.
Mhm.
So, but other than that aside, I wasn't sure whether we would be paying him in full, but that's not my field. I was just curious about that. Listen,
Mhm.
if that's the case, then maybe you would have to calculate the pros and cons of terminating the contract mathematically, and then
Yeah.
then if it's a break even, then I don't know. Then the higher management has to determine what is the best move forward. But I can't ever see him in a Chelsea jersey ever again. I'd be very shocked.
Mhm.
I don't think he'll be welcome either, unless Potter says, you know what, I can work with him. I just think it'd be too disruptive in the locker room also.
But the main aim will be to get the value for our money.
Yeah, yes, of course. However, even if it's just marginally better to cut him, I say we cut him. We just cut our losses. And you're right, Bobby, once more. I think Marina, she did some good moves, but she's made some horrible moves. And just the one thing I want to talk to you about, UEFA, if I just briefly may, I don't think it's even a Chelsea thing. I think it's a British thing. And this is before Brexit, years ago, because do you remember when English clubs had made 3 consecutive semi-finals? Sorry, 3 out of 4 years, 3 teams had made the semi-finals. And Platini had come out and said, this is not good for football, having all this British dominance, this English dominance. It had 3 French teams. Of course, there's not 3 that could qualify, but had 3 French teams made this, or 3 German, or 3, Spanish, he wouldn't have said that. There's this uneasy relationship that goes back, shall we even say centuries, where the mainland and the British, there's a sense of entitlement and arrogance and so forth, and this comes across in the world of football, and it's an inherent bias. And I think that's really valid, Bobby. Don't you think so? I guess he's.
Let me catch up with what we have in the chat. I appreciate that excellent contribution there. Again, on iOS YouTube, you will see again a heart icon. When you click on it, again, a small table of icons pops up, and you hit the heart one, or maybe the 100% one, or whichever one you prefer on the floating page. That name just a teacher here. Honestly, that's as clear as he can get for you. Yep, we're moving from that. Honestly, this is the best show. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I'm sure the panelists appreciate that. Again, I am doing it right now. Okay, thank you for showing people how to do that. Again, anything else to address here? 60 million. Tiba Salifa says again, for 160 million euros, Enzo better ask Messi or Paredes to get him Mbappe's phone number so that it can his spam Mbappe's WhatsApp asking Mbappe to buy him. Only PSG will trigger that again clause. Because if we pay that much money, you know how much we'll be asking for anybody comes for him. Let's get Messi, and every player will be begging to come to Chelsea. Yeah, again, my club, hopefully a fresh coming from again. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make of that one. Liam, I honestly cannot find it on iOS. Really? Okay. Maybe he tries to explain further. Let's keep him and use him. Again, Ike, good luck. Thank you for saying that. He could turn out a good at the end of the season. We don't know. It all come. I think by now the club has moved on from him, only seeking to find a way not to get to, you could say, to minimize the L, because it's going to be really, really huge. Again, as much as again, but I want to move on from that. Antonio Conquo.
Does anyone know that?
Sorry,
Coach. Does anyone know the actual figures that will be a loss on him?
You have to do the calculations, the loan fee, because they want to be giving out money. We will be minusing the loan fee from much we owe them. I think we owe, as at last year when we started talking about again the situation, I think we owed them 70 plus at that point. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but now, I think probably must have gone down. I wouldn't say significantly, because that was a crazy deal. I would have, again, here's the thing, as much as he was toxic, It was a huge risk letting him go on loan there. And I said it because he's not any younger. And by the time again, he should be how old now? 30, 31?
Yeah, at least.
So it was a risk of letting him go on loan. What do you think? Plus, if we paid attention, would know that there's no way he'd be firing on all cylinders like he did before we signed him. Because one of his chief creators in Ashraf Hakimi, had already gone to PSV, a PSG, so to speak. Plus, Lautaro Martinez, one of the chief creators, before, again, after Lukaku left, became the main guy. Whether you like it or not, he wouldn't want to go back to being the creator for Lukaku again. I don't know if you get it's a human thing. It's like you're being demoted. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if we paid attention before saying, okay, we agree you go on loan there. That's what about bringing him back and benching him? It gets worse. Then you won't be getting any loan fees from him. So the L becomes worse if you bring him back. First time ever again, forgotten to change. Sorry?
Not just that, it will be the toxicity in the locker room.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it doesn't make any sort of sense. First time ever, again, forgetting to see her there, mate. Oh, okay. Again, get Enzo, pair him with Kante. That would be a good pairing there. And Santos as rotation. Santos, I think he has, I'm not sure about his upper mid status. But Salifa, Nasser I Khalifa again ordered PSG to bench Rabiot for 2 seasons straight and made him train with under 21s because he insulted Toko and the club. Let's swallow the loss like how Khalifa did again, but send a strong message. Let's see if the club, if they do that again. After all, we lose either way. That's the thing. So it doesn't help to start to be sentimental about any decision we want to make. To me, guys, is again, like and subscribe, guys. Let's reach 300. We're at 61 right now. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible and shoot for 300. We said again, we're going to make that the average now, but it's up to you. You have to keep liking the stream for that to happen. Hello from my sister Choma. Choma, how are you doing? Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. Appreciate that. Brighton wants to cheat Chelsea. No. They have every right to say, actually, they want to sell a player for 200 million. It's as simple as that. We've taken too much from them. Dre, anyway, the spots, check in again. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's much documented that Lukaku was Roman's choice. I remember that quite clearly. We've seen him as an unfinished business and sent his son Icardi to talk to Lukaku. She got him cheaper than Inter wanted again, but we move on from that. I really do not want to get into that. I knew it was going to start some argument I don't want to get into, really. We should sign Gusto and Enzo because we need insurance for Reece James. Not really insurance. We need competition for Reece James. We need a player that can rotate with Reece James. And when that player comes in, the quality of the team won't drop. It'll still be, again, as we want it to be. How was Caicedo asking price 75 million last week? Because we're here in the Brighton. They're not happy that we also tried to sign Mac Allister, plus all the other thing, all that stuff that we've already talked about. Anybody thinking against apparently nearly 100 million with Todd Roman Saints? So, I won't read that fully. I don't want anybody to get offended. 100 million is too much for Caicedo. It's as simple as that. You won't see Santos until next season. That breaks my heart. Again, I was thinking we were going to see him this season. Yes, guys, we're at 163 likes. Let's get it to 200 likes as soon as possible, people. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. Honestly, again, I would take on Nana or make a Zakaria permanent in addition to Enzo Caicedo. It isn't worth more than 50 million. Unfortunately, you want him in the January transfer window, you'd have to pay premium. But that's why the way we move on from that. Zakaria, I'm not sure. Sorry?
What is the price for Caicedo?
They went from 75 million to saying they want 100 million pounds. And the rumors are, the talks out there are that, again, they got infuriated for the fact we also tried to sign Mac Allister. You know, the whole story after taking Graham Potter, his backroom staff, and also also the Morgan Stanley guy, you and Bobby
Morgan Stanley.
Column, and then yeah. So it's just too much. Again, if I were them, I'd be mad too. He says again, if Brighton fails to take the Chelsea offer, they will definitely lose out in the end because the guy can lose can get injured, and the value would definitely drop. They are greedy. I wouldn't call them greedy. I don't know. Get Caicedo 100 million for 10 years contract. Yeah. But yeah, Roger, you want to add to this comment right here, or you're good?
I'm good. Listen, that's a lot of money. I mean, even in an inflated market, that's obscene. I mean, so you're looking at Enzo and Caicedo basically around £200 million.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's massive.
It is.
But
if we're being honest, go ahead.
I thought we'd get him for 50.
Mm-hmm.
No. Wow. I mean, yes, it in 3-4 years' time, 100 million could be cheap, but as it stands right now, that's obscene.
Yeah. Again, but you went in the shoes. Yeah, if you were the president of the club, wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, no.
At one point say, wait, I think I have to let these guys know that I'm not happy.
Yeah, no, of course. No, I'm not critiquing Brighton. I'm just saying it's an obscene amount, regardless. No, they have every right to, and had I been a Brighton fan, I would welcome that move for sure. Of course, it's a shrewd and necessary move on their behalf, no doubt about it. It's logical. Having said that,
at least it's a way of saying you got to show some respect here. We're not the shopping mall for managers, backroom staff, and players, because it's too much if we're paying attention, really. But go ahead.
No, I totally agree. That there's a fine line, and perhaps we have crossed it. I'm not disputing that.
So what do you think happens now? Do you think the possibility is still there for us to get the player?
Okay, so we spend a ballpark figure of around 200.
Now I'm not saying again get the player without paying the premium or any crazy amount. Go ahead.
I didn't quite understand that. Could you repeat that?
No, what I'm trying to say, do you think we'll still get him, and that is without paying the £100 million?
I'm not sure. I think that if we do get him and possibly Enzo, and you put him on an elongated contract, 7-8 years plus, then for amortization, then I think that's a good thing. I think because of if UEFA hadn't brought down, that they are going to limit it to 5 years, then I don't think we would have done this. We would not complete this. Since this is our last window of opportunity to elongate a contract for amortization, then I think we may end up doing it. We may. Emphasis on the may. I'm not sure whether this is accurate or not, but I also read that we can have long contracts, but the amortization only lasts for 5 years. So I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I have to read into it. But I think I would like our club to actually go for these players, this window. Yes, it's an inflated price, but if it means that it would help us for FFP, then it behooves us to do that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's complicated. It's not that simple.
Does that make sense? Also, there's a greater chance because, listen, this position, midfield, it's becoming a very much sought after and prestigious position. Well, it always has been to a certain extent, but I believe that we're going to have possibly even more competition next summer from the likes of City, etc., or even as you were discussing earlier, Real Madrid, possibly, which I find very hard to believe, but you never know, which means we could be priced out. And also, we won't be able to spread it over more than 5 years. So this may be our only window of opportunity. And I think Vivell and Win Stanley, they're going to have to weigh that opportunity up. They're going to have to determine what's best for the club, this window or possibly next.
Yep, I do agree with you. Hello, mate, says my friend and brother, Phil R7. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. 100 million is too much of a Caicedo. I mean, Brighton take too much advantage of Chelsea. Let's be fair here. Honestly, we've actually, like, they're more like, again, a storage room.
They're our feeder club.
Yeah, exactly. They're more like our feeder club right now. Just look at it again. From Cucurella to the manager to the backroom staff. At one point, they'd want to. I'm not sure. Again, we're not going to pay, for Caicedo. That's for sure. But I think they did that to show you, hey, be careful here.
Doesn't he have a release clause?
No, I don't think he has one. If he does, I haven't heard about it. So maybe what they're doing here is just saying, hey, be careful here. And I'll do that too. Because you don't just sit back and take it like that. Even if you really want to sell the player, you don't.
Well, what happens if the player wants to leave and say, I need to leave? Then
it becomes very difficult for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to add to what Roger said, which I have to say I totally agree with.
Well, of course. That's shocking, really.
Where we also have to have an eye on is that in the summer, I don't think Chelsea are bothered about competition for any player from anybody. However, not having Champions League football, if we are in that position, becomes a massive consideration and a massive disadvantage.
I'm not sure about massive, but it is a factor.
Oh, it is big. If you're in competition with the big boys and they've all got Champions League and you can't offer that, it becomes a problem. Look what happened to Man United last summer. It was a big problem for them. This is why we need to think long and hard about doing these extravagant deals. Is it worth just getting it done now or taking that chance? With the state of our midfield, it wouldn't surprise me if at least one of these deals isn't done.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for that, Bobby. I appreciate that. This one again, 10 million yay. Okay. Again, but greetings. Okay. Roman again, Tiba Salifa. I wouldn't say that really. Again, with his strikers, E.G. Jose even said that he didn't know that Shevchenko was coming to Chelsea. Jose said again, he found out at Cobham when players when players suddenly ran towards Shevchenko to take pics. I think let's not get into that really. I don't want to get into that again. Just quickly, I don't know. I'm going to find a way to explain that so anybody doesn't feel embarrassed. Brighton owners are just greedy when it comes to Chelsea wanting their players. Look how much Cucurella cost us, and when we wanted Cucurella, then Man City wanted them too. Plus, I wouldn't call them greedy, really. It's business for all parties involved. Yeah. If we're being honest, and if you get an opportunity to maximize again, to get a sizable fee from a player, you do that. It's business. First and foremost, if we're being honest here, Malo Gusto has been very clear about wanting a January move in conversation with Chelsea. His agent in Lyon, it's down to the clubs to agree on a deal. And I don't see it coming to a situation where he will move this January because they will lose him on a free if he doesn't. So, yeah, I think we have the upper hand. No restrictions in Premier League. In Premier League 2, is that what you're saying? Other than 3 over 23 years old. Okay, thank you so much for explaining that. Again, with the Blues set to submit a new verbal offer, Fabrizio Romano via YouTube. You're talking about Malo Gusto. Okay, thank you so much for saying that. Big up everyone. Taboho, my brother. Just share the link to your channel whenever you get a chance, and I'll talk about it when I get that. Forget Caicedo. Rogue says, and I think that let's see what the club does. Again, tell me yourself, are there no other players that are cheaper than those two? Maybe their numbers thing and isn't pointing them to the direction of other players. And at this point, I think can say anything close to 100 million. It just reminds me of the case of Fofana from Leicester City. But like I said before, Brighton are just doing this to earn some respect because they're not a feed of Chelsea. To send a message, yeah, exactly. That's another way to put it, a better way actually to put it. They're not Chelsea's feeder team, if that makes any sort of sense. But Chama, again, thank you for that. Yes, keep hitting the like button, people. What 166 likes. Let's get it to 200 as soon as possible. Remember, the aim is 300. But it's looking like we're going to be short of 300 today. But we can only if you take a second to drop a like on the stream. Whether you're watching or you're not able to contribute in the chat, you can actually do that. So thank you in advance before you do that. Successful Ayare, 100 million is too much for Moises Caicedo. I think Chelsea should go and sign Declan Rice. Okay. Again, that's your opinion. In my opinion, I don't think we need Rice. If we're being honest, if I'm being honest, so to speak, I don't speak for everybody. Hey, everyone, I think these numbers are getting ridiculous. They're getting redonkulous.
Yeah.
They're beyond ridiculous. I hope we have a plan B because, I'm afraid we're going to panic buy. I don't think we'll panic buy. If we panic buy, it will be from a financial perspective, but we'll still get the right players. And that I'll take that anytime, any day. If you want players in general, you must pay premium price. It's as simple as that. Thank you for saying that, Tiveho, my brother from Madibaland. Brighton is like a bad chicken with 3 feathers. Again, left and Caicedo is one of them, and we're Colonel Sanders. Oh my goodness! You got it right. You got it right.
Yeah.
I had to mute my mic because I laughed so hard.
That's bloody funny.
That's a good one, really. Learn from Man City. I am sure there are better options out there. But because we're desperate and clubs know we're desperate, we can't hide our desperation. People always ask for more. Again, Stephen Smith Rowe, let's just buy because they are good at buying. Now, again, how come it's too much? I don't know. Maybe someone is in the chat to answer you. Boehly might as well buy over Brighton to get Caicedo million. Yeah. Let us, again, buy Benfica and sack their board. I don't think you can. Again, coach, please, again, be respectful to Brighton. So now it's my fault.
Yeah.
So now it's my fault. The beautiful game. Again, it's not unheard of that the Brighton board will be tuning into this stream, and we do. And we do want to keep them as our storage friends.
Storage crossed out. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
And believe me, I think the beautiful game is the most creative comedian I know. I don't know if he's a comedian though, but look how he twisted everything I said. But the truth is, there are storage really. But we go there and pick whatever we want. That's by the way again. Isn't this the heart icon? Yeah, if you use that when it comes out again, you see what it's saying? It says first red heart shape. It doesn't show here. That different thing altogether. Maybe you need to update your device. Yeah, something similar to that. And it doesn't come up on the highlight screen. It comes up again on the video screen. Again, let's get back Bakayoko. You never know. He may well come back. He has a point to prove and start doing well. But that's by the way, let's get Onana on the chip. He's not going to come. How do you think Everton will let him go? I don't think they will, but maybe they will get a manager. If they get some Allardyce, he will make some changes because he understands the fight for relegation is a different thing. That you need a different, again, crop of players, people that have been there and made it up because it has to be dirty. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, different mindset, more important. I think that's a better way to phrase it. Without a good midfielder, all our new acquisitions talent won't gel. I think that's a good argument there. Let's again reminds me of Haaland with Dortmund again took less money. Instead of Mac Allister, let's develop our academy boy Charlie Webster. He again, after all, they all end with stats. So maybe that will work. He's so good technically and has eyes for good passes. I think a lot of people have kind of sang him praises. So I really want to see him given a chance at the club. To me, Dyer, honestly, I've resolved again to fold in my hands and see what happens at the end of the transfer window. I think that's the best thing to do. You don't want that roller coaster of emotions. You can get sick. We need Enzo Madusamo. Let's see if the club gets him. They're just worried Chelsea is building a team nobody wants to play against. I don't think that's Brighton's concern, but I get your point. A lot of other clubs that are crying, foul. Those are the ones that you could say are worried that we're building a team that nobody wants to play against. Bobby, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, the player that Brighton are looking at to replace Caicedo, Amaidu Hadara, apparently. Why exactly? I mean, why? If Brighton can find alternatives, one, why doesn't Chelsea find this alternative? And two, why don't Chelsea get this player? It all seems very odd to me. The fact that we've allowed ourselves to get into a position where it appears that we don't have options.
They're buying wholesale prices. We're buying retail.
Well, we should be looking at if this is a wholesale player that is worthy of replacing Caicedo. Well, that's the answer, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, exactly. Cut out the middleman.
Yeah, Roger, you want to add to that?
No, Bobby's right. Just cut out the middleman, the wholesaler, which is what Brighton is. We're buying retail, and they're the wholesalers. Look at it from that perspective.
I know it's funny, really, but it makes perfect sense. Yeah, but go ahead.
It's sadly true.
It is.
It's like wow. It's like if you go to Costco and you don't have the membership. It's like, okay, so I'll pay retail. Well, bloody get the membership. As simple as that.
But here's where the problem lies.
He's a Leipzig player, so why isn't Vival all over this?
Oh, how about if we go for him, the price will become worse? Maybe it depends on how long the player has on his contract.
The price won't come up to 100 million, that's for sure.
Yeah. But for sure it wouldn't get to that. But is he that good? That's the question.
Maybe also he needs time to mature.
Yeah, possibly. And Brighton is the place for him. But if you're really going if it's a project, really, if you fit into the profile of players we're looking at from an age perspective, maybe we should give it a shot. But giving it a shot again heightens the risk of us again getting any player we want right now, because Brighton will go, oh, okay, now you want to hijack a player we want.
Yeah. Get dirty real fast.
It may well compound the situation for us. We're already saying the relationship is actually there's a problem right now between us and Brighton because we want Mac Allister and they go, whoa, what do you think we are? And all that, and the storage analogy and all that we've talked about. But that's but you lost 0-4 to them. Why should they be worried? I guess that's a solid argument, really. Again, you can buy all expensive players like PSG, but again, if you don't know how to manage them, it becomes a problem. Yeah. That's another thing. Maybe let me just say, I'm all for us buying the good players, good expensive players. We'll cross that bridge of managing them when we get there, if that makes sense. It's 5 years of our amortization. Our contract length cannot be restricted. EU employment laws. So again, even the loophole cannot be closed entirely. 6 days left for the window to close. All chill, and a lot can happen. Lola, we will buy again a world-class manager to manage them if Potter cannot. Again, you could say indirectly. I don't just want to trigger his lawyer who's on the panel here by saying what you just said. All I said, when we reach that bridge, if we can manage them, we'll find a solution. Storage was Brighton. Again, I have 50. I get 55. Roger, I'm sure you know that show too. No, again, this is too much. Caicedo for 100 million and Enzo 106. Yeah, so much, guys. Let's see. So to Mr. Boehly, I want that to happen, really. Victor Ogunbajo, Brighton is like our kitchen. Just go in and get the food. It gets worse. As for me, I want to go to heaven. I'm on their side, really. Yeah, if you believe that. Brighton is, yeah, again, I've read that. Again, this is, again, where we need our recruitment teams to step up. We don't always need, again, to spend the big money because clubs take us for joke.
Exactly.
Like I said,
Haidara is okay, slightly outside of our age range. He's 24. There's a clause in his contract that will allow him to leave in the summer. No way is he going to be anywhere near 100 million. I don't know how much is left on his contract, but if he's allowed to leave in the summer, then
but
that
aren't you
says
concerned,
it all.
Bobby, that what that would do to our relationship with Brighton? Because they will say now we're hijacking their deals. Isn't that a concern to you?
No.
Really? You're a shrewd businessman.
Why is it a problem? You know, we wanted to take Caicedo. They put an impossible sum which says he's not for sale. So we're looking at the player that they're not really, you know, they wanted to use as a replacement. You know,
but
they've put it out
says
there.
They've given up.
Well, that's true, but you know, it's all's fair in love and war, isn't it?
We can also look too. Yeah.
I don't look at the transfer market in trepidations of anybody. I don't think that's a healthy way to go about business. I really don't. Whatever you do, it's always going to disappoint somebody. And, you know, look at the players we bought already. Even people that haven't been after those players are after us for buying those players. So you can't please everybody. This guy, somebody else is going to notice him. So if Brighton doesn't get him now, it will become a situation where if, for example, West Ham succeed as it looks like they're going to do in their pricing of Declan Rice to 100 million, Arsenal may turn around and say, well, screw that, I'll go for this guy. It's an open market, you know. I don't fear other clubs with our purchases, and neither should we go down that road. I'm not saying we're going for him, but if we want him, then so be it.
Yeah, Roger, do you agree with that? Not minding that Brighton are going for them, and there's nothing says okay they've given up after their initial bid was rejected.
Yeah, I actually see your point. There could be ramifications, but in essence, this happens all the time. You know, among many different leagues, intra and inter, where another club is looking at a player that another club is looking at. So, yeah, I mean, they know that we're in the market for a midfielder. So why not? We're not doing anything illegal. Also, I just want to very briefly say that this term loophole with regards to having elongated contracts for amortization, I don't think it's actually a loophole because you're not doing something, you're not implementing something that is cutting corners. You are actually doing something that everyone else is doing. However, you're just, shall we say, extending it, you know, from a 3 to 4 year deal to a 6 to 7 year deal. So I don't think that's a loophole per se. I think that's the wrong terminology. It gives the impression that we're doing something wrong, that we are going behind, you know, doing a backdoor application, and that's not the case. I just wanted to say that because it gives negative connotation, and it's not, in my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to say that. I appreciate that. What else we have here? Again, we do have alternative, but Caicedo and Enzo are the main targets. It's not easy to walk away because we already did the calculations. Their numbers thing did point them to these two players. So we'll only go for the alternatives if at the end we don't see the possibility of getting these guys. And I still think if it comes to again to a time to a place where we look at it and say we're not going to be able to get any of them this window, I think we will see us snap up the alternative, probably pay something again, pay a player, probably a player we didn't know we were looking at, pay the buyout cost and get them. Can we make inquiry about Camavinga? I think we already did. Victor Ogunbaja, I think the club already did, from what we're reading. Arsenal did also, but Real Madrid are reluctant to let him go. He's been very pivotal to them. He hasn't played regularly, but every time he gets a chance, he's put in a good shift, So why would they let him go? And that's the process for them. The process involves him being integrated into the team gradually. Kroos, I think Kroos, what's his name again? And Luka Modric, while as they age, those players will get more time. Victor, again, it won't be easy. Yep, it won't be easy. You can think Brighton will agree 16 million if we loan Caicedo back till the next summer. We may well end up doing that. But I don't think we will. I think we want him now. I think the aim of the club, if you ask me, that is just my observation. I'm thinking maybe they're looking at where we're at right now and thinking, I think we need these players to ensure we make it to top four, to ensure we participate in the next edition of the Champions League. Again, they don't just want to say, okay, it's a project. Let's take an L this season, because missing out on the Champions League, that's it will hit the club's pocketbook hard. So I don't think they're signing them any. That's why you heard the argument. What the reason why we haven't completed the signing of Malo Gusta is that again Lyon wants to keep him for the rest of the season, and we said no, we want him, and it makes sense because we've had issues in the right back area. So why leave him there to the end of the season? Same as the midfield, we have serious issues there. So it wouldn't make sense to say sign him and leave him there on loan until the end of the season. Chelsea must look at Royal and Antwerp Football Club. They have a 17-year-old again Belgian player that they call him again the Belgian Iniesta. His name is Valmerin, and they also have the Nigerian Kante Yusuf. Yusuf, what's his first name again? I think it's a player I know. This is people having conversation. If we are in Brighton's shoes, honestly, I would visit. I will visit the Juju man, native doctor again. You visit Babalao, African defense mechanism, Chelsea becoming a predator. To be honest, okay, I'm gonna move on from that one. It wasn't a loophole. Kepa got 7 years deal precisely for amortization. Again, whoever did that deal was ahead of the time. I think it makes sense. Whoever did that at that time was truly ahead of time. So Christian Pulisic, Christian Injurisic, he says, Louis Garcia, how have you been? I hope you're well. Let's see what happens. Rumors are that AC Milan wants him, but let's see what happens. Really, it's not going to be an easy one to let go. What else do we have lined up here? We've talked about this, and when asked what did happen to Lukaku, and Pies replies, we loaned him to Inter Milan, to Inter. After this, again, Chelsea don't want to do loan deals for players in the first team. Okay, they want to sell only. Okay, if that, I hope I understand that. But that's right away. We have this one here from my friend, Mitchell Boy, Chelsea. Big up, coach. Big up to you too. They say lackness is greatness. And I think we'll be ending in a bit. And if you have any question and you're in the chat, please shoot it, and we'd really like to address it. For this one, I think I really want us to talk about this one. Just give me 1 second so I'll get it open. But Roger, anything else you want to talk about while I open the topic in question? I'm going to open it in a bit here.
So this intimates that last screenshot that Gallagher's leaving, or if he is to leave, it will be for a sale or not for a loan. I didn't quite comprehend that.
Okay, I'll open it in a bit. Just give me 1 second. There you go. We have it here. Let me do this so we can look at it. Okay, this is the initial tweet here. It says, Chelsea are currently not given the green light on Conor Gallagher to leave after what happened with Lukaku. And he's quoting Fabrizio Romano. they are not again accepting loan
I
deals
see.
because. And
I
if you
see.
look back, in most cases, again, especially with the Italian side, Gallagher, this case isn't with an Italian side because the Italian side they know how to play it so well that they end up getting the player on the cheap or on the free, and it hasn't really worked with us. The loan deal again, we've lost some good players in some cases. Again, I don't want to get into it; it's so confusing. But in this case, when Pies was asked what happened with Lukaku, see his response here. So, which means the club don't want to loan players. If you want to buy the player, go ahead buy the player. It's as simple as that. Because in some cases, the loan deals doesn't really make sense because you're still carrying again some percentage of the player's wages. In most cases, actually, the larger aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sort of sense to you now.
No, indeed. And then look at our goalkeeper in Atletico. You know, we ended up losing him. So
yeah,
it's.
So
I get the
go ahead.
strategy. No, it makes sense. It makes fiscal sense and it makes logical sense. So I get it.
Go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's all,
It does make sense. Yeah.
No, it's logical. So I get it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, again, it does make sense. Again, if you're watching it with 178 likes, we need 22 more to get it to 200 likes. Let's get it to at least 200, even if we can't get to 300. I know we can, but only if you keep liking the stream. And we have just a few minutes, about 20 minutes or so to round up, but we can still get it to 200 likes only if you keep liking the stream. But that's, by the way, I wanted to talk about this one. Anthony Gordon. How much were we going to pay for him last summer?
50, wasn't it?
Yeah, around 50 and something. In Everton, they upped the price to 70, right?
Something like that. I can't recall, but yeah, it was exorbitant.
Yeah, that's crazy, really. Again, I said, big up, coach. Again, let's see what we have here. Again, greetings to everyone. It's been a while. Emmanuel Obed, and I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know that you're fine. Is Potter ever going to play Datro Fofana? He's a baller. Victor Gubanjo, I think his integration will be gradual. Like I said, again, as much as I don't like repeating myself, I think it's important we talk about this. You want to keep the younger players hungry. You don't want to do anything that will make them feel like they've arrived. If that ever happens, they will stop learning. But if you push them to know you have to earn your place, it's not yours for keeps. Again, fight for it, and we'll see when you're ready. Then they keep working and they'll keep learning. So that's why you have to take the integration of young players such as Datro Fofana into the first team. It has to be a gradual process. Let's see again. We have also. Yeah, go ahead.
No, he needs to be phased in, probably.
Yeah, he needs to be phased in. Yeah. I think that's the better way to phrase it. Again, we have also a favorite Brighton with Colwell, Lante, and Billy Gilmore. I don't think they see it like that, really. They got those players because we were taking something from them. In Moscow, if you look at all the deals, if that makes any sort of sense to you. Big up, Bobby. Thank you, Paul. You're welcome, brother. Again, big up, Roger Old Bean. Roger, to speak up to you from Nature Boy.
Hey, how's it going, Old Bean?
Yeah, so to me, Bobby, you want to come in your thoughts on, again, I'm happy that Newcastle are taking him. I didn't want us to sign him because apparently their numbers thing pointed them to Gordon. I know he's a potential. He can be explosive. He's a good player and probably would do better in a team like Chelsea, but I don't think it's worth 50. So, Bobby, your thoughts?
Big up Michi, by the way. I was with Michi this morning for a while.
Okay.
Top guy. Listen,
indeed. Yeah.
Anthony Gordon. Oh gosh. Well, I'm confused about this one. People keep saying he's all that and a slice of bread. I'm not sure. He's one of those players that, I mean, he's a bit of a Conor Gallagher, isn't he?
Yeah, very much in that mold.
So what's the point? I wouldn't.
But I'd argue he's
more technically
gifted than Gallagher.
Do you know, he's one of those
more
players,
technically gifted than Gallagher.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
He's one of those players that we're linked to that I just have no opinion. Why I say that is that if those that are doing our deals feel he's worthy of the project, I'll just throw my hands
Mhm.
up and say, okay, fine. Where does he play? I don't know. Do they think he's a hustler that's needed to help us transition the ball from defense through midfield to attack? Maybe. I have no opinion on this guy, and no interest really until somebody gives me a reason to have interest.
Mm. Yeah, that's one talent again. When we look at him, I'm not too quite sure how he'd make us better.
Is he
Uh,
Scottish?
yeah, I'd rather Callum Hudson-Odoi, a better dribbler. Again, underrated really, but I don't want to go into that argument. Go ahead, Roger. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, is he Scottish?
I'm not sure. Isn't he English? But I can look that up for you quickly. Go ahead.
Goodness.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because I'll be silent.
Yeah,
while I'm
I
looking
have
it
very
up.
little opinion about him. I think I don't know. You know what? He reminds me of a mountain in the regard that he's used for his productivity in that
Mm.
regard. I think if he's properly coached, he could. I don't think he's reached his
He's
potential.
English.
He is English. Okay, I wasn't sure. He does have an upside. He does have potential. There's no doubt about it. The ceiling he has, but how high is that ceiling? He's left-footed, isn't he? He's
I'm not
very
sure he's
left-footed. Yeah,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, he's very left-footed. So,
Mm.
I've actually watched him quite a few times. I like him.
Just popping out for a second.
I do. I
Okay,
like
okay.
him. Okay, Paul. But is he Chelsea level? Perhaps in a year or two. I don't know. What's his age? I forget.
I think he's 19.
Yeah, he's young. I think he's older than that now, but yeah, he's young. You know what? He very well may. He very well may fit into our project. The criteria. So who knows?
No, he's 21. He's
Yeah,
21. Go ahead.
yeah. He's still within that criteria. He's got an upside, and he's hard working, coach. He really is. But yeah, he can
And
be.
usually, again, one thing that the club consider when going for such talent is he counts as a homegrown quota.
Sure, he's a feisty player too. He's got a heart in him. He's got a motor. He's a feisty player. He'll work hard for you. That's the one thing I like. He's passionate, which I do like. But is he technical enough? I think he is technical, but the whole package, I'm not sure. It's hard to judge someone playing for Everton, with all due respect to any Everton fans that may be listening, etc., because they are a big club traditionally in British history, but currently they've been struggling. So it's hard to judge someone when you see a player in that, shall we say, surroundings, ergonomics.
Yeah.
So it's hard to judge someone in that regard.
Yeah, that is one player. Again, I'm not too sure how he fits in, but if the numbers point
and he's a number 8, isn't he? And how many number 8s do we have?
he can actually play on the flanks, and I'm not sure. I'm not too particular. I'm not sure about it. Again, his preferred, his main position. Yeah,
we just have. It's not a position of need, in my opinion, because we have enough.
I don't think so. I don't think we need him. Again, Mitchy Boy just says, "Big up, Roger." Again, we've read that when it was just a stream trying to get my setup right and back to drawing board again. And let me know if I can help in any way. I'd really going to be happy to assist however I can. Yes, guys, please keep liking the stream. We need just how many more likes? 21 more likes to get it to 200 likes. Let's get it there with some cushion to 200 plus. That would be good. Again, before we call it a day. Yes, people, keep liking the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. I sincerely do appreciate that. Play Ziyech and Mudryk together. We've seen again. I think that would be some awesome thing to see. That may well lead to Ziyech not leaving the club this window. Newcastle want him on the loan, and I don't think the club would do that. Yeah, again, I give it again 2 times. I think he found Mudryk, and Mudryk was able to make fine runs, and Ziyech was able to find him on 2 occasions. I cannot sell an injured player. Oh, okay. That makes sense right now. Let's see what we have again. Big up, Coach Anthony Gordon is completely unnecessary. I think the same too. I don't think he's a player we want. He's English. Okay, thank you for that. Al Hassan Yusuf, is that a player you're referring to? Okay, tell us more about him. Gordon, please just keep mentioning Mount. Victor Ogunbajo, I don't think Mount is going anywhere. Hate him or love him. Honestly, I think he stays. But I'm not going to get into that argument. We will add Felix Madrid and Modric to the squad. Only 3 of the new players can be named in the UEFA Champions League. All 5 have played UEFA Champions League competitions. Datro Fofana more likely to end up in under 23s, more likely. Wow. Again, let's see what happens there, but I'd like to see him in the first team. Again, I was trying to work out Nani cannot be on B at least again for Champions League. I think the criteria there is that he hasn't been 2 years with us. I'm not sure I understand the rules quite well. Man, again, he's 20. Looked up again. He may qualify as homegrown. I don't know that. Again, Patrick. Kako says again, you wanted to change also the coach. No. Roger, can you again? Let me have you talk about this. We have a bit of time, and I think the next thing we'll do. I don't think we'll go into the lineup building. That has to be a separate show. We have time now to do that during the break. And I think for how many weeks break? Is it 2 weeks or a week?
Well, I think we play in 9 days' time.
In 9 days' time, so get close to a week plus this. So I think we'll have time to do the new lineup building exercise. Yeah. So can you talk about this? Explain why the manager again? They're not going to let him go now. Again, all factors that guarantees he's not going to leave at least till the end of the season. All factors that guarantee, yeah.
Well, assuming that we don't lose the next 10 games, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the American owners basically interviewed him, and they believed that Tuchel was not the man for the long-term project. I think more so it was a personality clash, but that's irrelevant. And so they liked what Potter has done historically, where he's got a Swedish club from, I think, the 3rd division or 4th division and promoted each year to the top tier and won a trophy and even got them into the Europa League, I believe it was, and was eliminated by Arsenal. Then he went to, I think, Swansea, then Brighton, and they like what he's done with Brighton over the last 2 to 3 years. And so they see a player that a coach that can actually grow with the club and grow with the project. Someone that is open-minded and has a philosophy. And I think this is why they chose him. They didn't choose him as a world-class coach because, let's be honest, he's not. But
he has the potential, and they trust him to believe he's capable of reaching that height. But go ahead.
Exactly. It's the ceiling. They believe that he has the potential to be an outstanding coach that can grow with this project. And I think we need to understand that. This is why, regardless of who it is, let's say we brought in a Conte again, or any coach that has reasonable amount of experience. I honestly believe that I'm against firing a coach for less than a year. It should be actually 2 years. No, and now, of course, unless you lose the first 20 games, you don't even score a goal, etc. Worst case scenario, obviously I'm being facetious in that. Then, of course, you have to say, is this the right chap for the job? But I believe, especially with the amount of injuries, I think time should be granted for a coach that has potential and hasn't lost the locker room also. And if you speak to certain hierarchical people, they say, yes, he knows what he's doing. He does well on the training pitch and so forth. There's many different issues or contributing factors for a team that is not doing well. So is he the main cause? Is he the root cause analysis, root cause of this? So basically they chose Potter based on his history and his willingness and his communication. And I think he's bought into the project. Well, obviously they believe he bought into the project, and they received him in high regard, and I think that's why they chose him, and for no other reason.
Let me say this. One thing we've talked about,
And to
one
change your
factor
coach,
that I truly...
yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. So
Go
to
ahead.
change coach right now, I think would be a huge dent, a huge kick in the project. It would set it back, and maybe it would come into question
Rather than move it forward, yeah.
Their direction. Yes, indeed. And also, I think it's fair to say that there's egos involved. Therefore, they would have to admit they've made the wrong choice. I think that plays some part of it, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, something I want to say quickly. Again, if you're watching, I'll come to you in a bit. If you're watching, please, if you haven't, whether you're watching and you're not participating in the chat, please take a second to drop a like on the stream. We need 16 more likes to get it to 200 likes. Let's get it to 200 likes at least before the show ends. That would be good. We couldn't hit our target of 300 today, but that's fine. 100 plus, that's excellent, actually. Just 16 more to get it to 200 likes. Let's get it there, people. Let's get it. You guys, you people are absolute legends, and I know we can do that. Roger, here's what I want to say. We've talked about this again and repeatedly on this show, how ego comes into play. If you do something, in most cases, you be reluctant to accept change because you want to prove my way is the better way. I made a good decision, and you just have to wait and see how it works out. Can you explain how ego comes into play in this case? Again, from the perspective of saying, again, we know what we're doing. Even it would take quite a lot for them to look at it and say, you know what, we made a mistake. Can you take us a minute or two to talk about that?
Yeah, in essence, this would be an admission of guilt to say, you know what, we've made an error.
I was waiting for that. Go ahead. Yeah.
And that, you know, listen, these people that are billionaires, they live in rarefied air, and they do have egos. You know, no matter how you could define an ego, they have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. And especially in this field, they're not camera shy. You know, they like the limelight. In case you hadn't noticed, they're not hermits. You know, if you look at their predecessor, Roman, you know, he didn't go for interviews. He didn't buy the club for attention. He bought it because he liked the club. These chaps have bought the club because they see the potential, that they believe it's undervalued in this market, and also the Super League, that they believe football/soccer has a higher ceiling based on what they have seen in compared to their American sports. They believe that this is where they can elevate the price, and they've chosen, and they don't forget, they have terminated the contract of a world-class coach, of a coach that has proven his success within a year and a half of him being fired, essentially. And to get rid of a coach of that stature and bring in someone of unknown quantity by comparison would be, and then fire him. This is a failure of gigantic proportions. And so they just didn't get rid of an unknown and brought in a world-class coach, which would justify them doing so. It's done vice versa. So they're going to give him as many chances as possible to prove himself. Otherwise, this is a reflection upon their poor judgment. This is what it
more
boils
important,
down
I think.
to.
Thank you for taking the time. Yeah, go ahead if you're still talking.
No. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I sincerely do appreciate you breaking that down. Because again, that comes into play no matter how you see it, ego, and also how, like you did put it, I think better put actually, admission of guilt, admission of that they're admitting that we did make a mistake here. And you don't get that from billionaires all the time. So, but putting that aside, the truth remains Potter needs time. And before any decision is made, it will take till the end of the season. And again, if we fight and we look at it and say we were quite unlucky not to make it into top four, he stayed. If we get to the end of the season and it turns out there were stretching long games we shouldn't, lots and lots of games we shouldn't have lost that we lost, then questions will come into play. Because as much as we get it, they want to give him time. and he's capable of again. He start again. Like I've said before, Pep Guardiola did not start winning trophies from his mother's belly. Zidane Dean, Carlo, Carlo Dane. So there's a first for everything.
Yeah.
Do I have question marks over Graham Potter? A lot. Has he convinced me to a certain measure? Yeah, some things have changed, and I hope it continues. Things continue to change for good. But that's, by the way, I want my club to do well. That's the most important thing. Even though if you ask me what I'm for right now, if I tell you, you'd be surprised. But
yeah, I want
Chelsea
to
is the
see.
entity.
You know, if the
Sorry?
I want us to win everything. I've been a fan since I was 6. If that means the beautiful game is our head coach, then so be it. You know,
the beautiful game.
Shot across the bow.
He's gonna come give me a yellow card soon.
Oh, for sure, red maybe.
Here's the thing. Again, the truth is, again, if Potter does well, Chelsea will do well.
Yes.
More importantly. Yeah, and our opinion, believe me, I still don't think, well, again, will any measure of influence to whether the club decides to let him go or not. But again, we're here to talk about it anyway. You need Zidane? No, we don't need Zidane. Even Zidane would take this project right now. Zidane is
I'm not convinced about him.
Manager. He's the type of manager that wants a ready-made team, ready-to-go team, plug and play. That's what he wants. He will struggle.
Plug and play.
Yeah. Go ahead, Roger, if you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? He inherited, with all due respect to him, he inherited a bunch of Galacticos. And, you know, I think Potter could have potentially got the same results with that team. It's that simple. Yes, I know that they looked up to him because of his CV as a great world-class player. But, you know, they had so much talent that I think it will be disingenuous of anyone to say that they won those 3 trophies consecutively because of him. No, I don't think so. I'm not convinced that he's a world-class coach, to be honest with you. Great player, don't get me wrong.
Again, like I said,
great in the true sense of the word. You know, because that term is overused so often, but he is genuinely a great player. But I'm not convinced that he has to go to another club like a Chelsea that is rebuilding and let me see his results for me to actually qualify him as a good coach.
Yeah, again, at this point, I don't think he's the man until he proves us otherwise by going to a team where they don't have all those things. All those names he had at his disposal at that point. To me, like the analogy I've used, again, he could just, again, start the team, again, and tell his assistant if there's a need for any change, wake me up and take a nap while the match is going on and they still win.
Autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. Autopilot is a better term for it. He could have done that then and still win something. But that's why. But in the case of Pep, if you're going to talk about Barcelona, you could say he was the one that got them to start playing the way they played. And some of the players were relatively unknown then, but he brought them in. But Zidane didn't do that at Madrid, really, if we're being honest.
And also, let's not forget about Barcelona. I think you have 7 out of their 11 players were playing since the age of 12 together. This is
so that makes a whole lot of difference.
And that includes Messi, don't forget. I mean, so they've known each other since the age of 12. So the nuances of what each other does on the pitch and so forth. So that's a once in a lifetime thing. So, you know, I'm not putting Pep down. Please do not interpret that as such. He's a great coach. He's proven everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he inherited a, shall we say, the basic the building block of that team was built 7 years before he got there.
Yeah, guys, we need just 15 more likes. Please, let's get it to 200 likes. We'll have just a few minutes to round up. Roger, again, I'll come back to you. I think you've annoyed the authorities and you're in trouble if you're looking at the chat. Yeah, the way I read it, again, Coach, again, he's talking to me. It may have to be 2 years with us again, or for Nani to be on a B list. Really? Okay. Let's guys keep liking the stream. 40 more likes to get it to 200 likes. I believe we can do that. We have to get it to 200 at least. We've averaged 300 in 2 consecutive days, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nishibo, again, only 3. Again, the fact is he is English isn't relevant. Only 3 who played in UEFA, again, are allowed. Again, he played in UEFA. Madueke may qualify for B list in EPL if he was at Tottenham 3 whole years, but he wasn't, was he? I don't want to know. Mishiboy 2 with us, again, at 3 with another club. Thank you so much for that information, Esamano. I agree, again, I've been looking into it. It seems, okay, just a conversation between you two. Again, but this coach, again, I don't have experience. I get it, yeah, but that's how you gain experience. And I think
he does have experience,
knew
but
before they hired him.
Big team.
Not a big team, yeah. And the owners knew that before they hired him. They saw the potential in him. If some clubs will go to the extent of, again, looking at his win percentage, which 31%, and thanks to Ty for highlighting that, would have said, no, I don't think this is our man. But they were willing to give him the opportunity. Probably, I'm sure they looked at that too. Al Hassan Yusuf, 22-year-old, is the Nigerian Kante. Really, I don't know him that well. Ato is 17, and he is a Belgian Iniesta. He is taking the midfield of Royal Antwerp Football Club on his back and bench Nagolan, Raja Nagolan. I think Raja is his first name. Wow, that's serious. No game plan. You think? Yes, him too. This is a conversation between these two guys here. For anyone on iOS, there's a heart icon. If you click on it, if you click it, a small pop-up menu of different icons appears, and if you hit the heart icon, you will see the heart floating again up in the screen. Yeah, thank you so much. Please do that if you want to. We need just 13 more likes to get it to 200 likes. Let's get it there before the show ends. We have just about 10 minutes to end. Potter going nowhere. Top 4 or not. Boehly said from day one, it wasn't a condition. Here's the thing: they're not going to say otherwise. But I get your point. He's going nowhere. They're not going to come and say the condition. They're not going to say that. That puts an immense amount of pressure on the manager if they do that. But I get your argument, really. Again, Tuchel won a German Cup. PSG still giving the job. Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. Again, you start somewhere, if we're being honest. So you're comparing the Tuchel with Potter. Okay, I'm going to move on from that one. Yes,
well,
we lost
Arteta,
at least something.
Yeah,
but I don't want this to become an argument of what about reason. I get you. Go ahead, Roger. Not you. I'm not talking about you, Roger. Go ahead.
Arteta had 0 coaching experience when he got the Arsenal.
Yeah, just from Pep's assistant,
which is a good resume in and of itself. I agree. However, you know, at least Potter has put in the hard work, paid his dues in Sweden, Swansea, and Brighton. So I think that applies to Arteta more than it would Potter. True, Potter doesn't have any experience with a top flight team. And I think we can safely assume Chelsea is one of those. So that's all I want to say.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Yes, we lost again. Let's see what we have here. Having Potter, we will remain average. Again, never seen Englishman succeed. But again, there's a first for everything.
Back, guys.
That's what the argument you want to bring up. Okay, Bobby, welcome back. Zidane is waiting for Juve. Allegri is in danger now. And should I say he's the Juve legend? I know he played for them. Before he went to Madrid, I think that's the route he went through.
I'm surprised Allegri is not succeeding, because if you listen to a lot of Italian experts, he is the most tactical. His nuance in tactical affairs, the X's and O's, as they say in America, out of any Italian coach, he is the more tactical of the individuals, more astute. And I consider him an elite coach. And I'm really, yes, I know he's been successful in his previous tenure in Juve, but I'm really surprised that he's struggling with Juve.
Do you think it's been progressive enough?
I haven't been following them. No.
Yeah, I think it's very predictable.
That's the Italian DNA, though, isn't it?
Not really all of them. The current coach of Brighton, isn't he Italian?
I'm not sure. No,
correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he? But here's the thing about Allegri. I think they hired him back out of respect, really. If anything, you could argue probably he's suffering from the fact that majority of the players he has at his disposal were not his anti-signings.
Perhaps.
There's a chance, a bit of that. Plus, again, to me, he's the Italian Simone for me. Overly pragmatic, maybe.
Right.
I'm not sure that's the case, but yeah, but minus 15 points, that's something serious.
That's
He's
huge.
in trouble right now. Yeah, that's huge. Straight red card to Roger for dissent, 8-match ban for unnecessary violent conduct on an innocent party. Yeah, I agree with that. You should make it a live ban, actually.
Not feeling the love there, old beam.
Glenn Hardo again sets us on the road. Oh, okay. Thank you for saying that. I was laughing. I know. I know. I hate that we are losing to teams we should be winning against simply because of the quality players we have. Injury or not. Really? Okay. Again, I strongly believe Boehly made the right choice in Potter, and I do believe he will succeed. I really want us to start sticking to a manager for a long time instead of hiring and firing. Yeah, I want to see that. Again, it helps us achieve dominance. Again, it starts from retaining a manager. But I don't want a situation where one manager is running us to the gutter. That's not the case right now. And we still say, okay, trust the process until we end up into a gutter. Like I said, that's not the case right now. This coach has the same experience that Tuchel had before getting to PSG. John Mourinho, an interpreter started in. Yeah, that's why I said this is a force for everything. So thank you for saying that. Maximum respect to Roman. Juve never learns. Relegated to 14th, to 4th division. I remember that one again. Came back and still continued to do shady stuff. It just looked as if they're owned by a mafia group. I'm not sure. And can't resist doing bad stuff. Chelsea boy, because Allegri is very stubborn and he plays boring football. Yep, you see, and his tactics are behind the evolution of the game. Roger, did you hear me say he doesn't look progressive enough for me? Plus, he's the Italian again. What's his name? The Italian Diego Simeone for me. Yeah, exactly. And Conte is in that category too. Very stubborn. One approach, nothing again. Not an expensive approach to the game. Coach Emmett again. How's this Enzo news? Do you think we'll still get him? And on the transfer market, because Brighton trying to rip us off with Caicedo, and it's not 100 million. I don't think we paid them anything close to 100 million. I think that's just them getting us to at least approach them with respect. Act like we're again at least show that they're not Chelsea's storage room, or maybe we will not be a feeder team, if that makes any sort of sense for to them. Thanks for putting me again a moderate to just realize that. You're just realizing that, Dan? Are you serious? That is worth me removing you from a moderate. You've been a moderator for nearly 6 months and you don't know. Are you?
That's a
Please
red card.
share the link to your channel so that people can go check it out, Dan. No wonder you don't know for nearly 6 months. You don't know you've been a moderator in this. Please, guys, keep liking the stream. We need 12 more likes to get it to 200 likes. Let's get it there as soon as possible. They call the club the old lady, right? Again, old ladies are nice.
Yep.
Should rename to old geezer. Maybe that will save the situation. I don't know why. I think I know. I've read the history somewhere, but I don't quite recall what that is really. Again, saying hello to Mishi Boy. At Coach, yeah, it's just realized that. That's it. I'm gonna demod you right now. Roger, anything else you want to talk about? Otherwise, again, we've come to the natural end of the show. Except if we see any comment in the chat, we can address it. And if Bobby probably most likely has something else to say.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that I really hope that we address the right back situation more than anything, and then possibly a midfielder. That's all I want. I mean, we got deep pockets. We need to achieve this. I think it's imperative.
Yeah, I think a midfielder is very important. If we don't find one,
Right back
it's
is
going to
more.
be.
Right back is imperative. That should be our number one priority.
Yeah, it is. It should be. If we don't find a good midfielder that can limit what we expect of the new signings. But the good thing is that I think Modric can actually play centrally. He's shown that. See how he drifted into play, orchestrate that a delicious 1-2 with Carney Chukwuemeka. So we need a central again. We need central midfielders who do things differently from us. Create chances from the central area so that we can diversify our chance creation and be more unpredictable. I'm seeing something that's getting me concerned now, but I don't think. I think we're pretty much again packed in that area. Milan Skriniar again, it's a PSG actively pursuing Inter Milan Skriniar, but with view to a free in the summer. Yep. Again, if we can add him if he comes on a free, that will be fine. But probably PSG has had a bid rejected, so probably by now they've spoken to his camp and he would want to join them. If he gets to leave on a free, he will be again the most valuable free agent because his current value is at 55 million euros. If he lives on a free, wow! If they get him for that, wow, that is something else. There's no need to sign again Moises for 100 million. But I don't think we'll pay anything close to that, even if we end up signing him. Guys, we need just 12 more likes to get it to 20 again. To get it to 200 likes. Let's get it done. It's doable. Let me say again what we have again. I just thought again that the Spanner was a member. No, I haven't done. I don't want to do any membership thing until we get to 10,000 subscribers. I've been listening to this in the background for a while, but hasn't been able to talk. But haven't been able to talk in the chat. Need to head again for now again. But I hope we're all well. It's Kami. I appreciate you again, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. And I hope you're well. How's work going? I hope work is going well. So anything else, Bobby, anything else you want to say before we call it a day?
No, nothing to add. I think a lot of clarity will come over the next few days. I know it's stating the obvious, but that we're going to know exactly where we are with the business we've got left to do.
Mm-hmm. Roger, how about you? Anything else you want to talk about?
Sorry.
Okay, Roger.
I'm just making a cup of tea. Sorry. No. Bobby, that's so controversial what you just said. He's right though. It's we've got a week or less than a week to see where we stand. I'm really interested to see your prognostication as to where we will end up at the end of the season. I think we make top 7. I think we end up being 5th or 6th, personally, give or take one. I'd be very shocked if we don't make top 7. I'd be very shocked if we make top 4.
Whatever happens, I just want us to avoid Europe if it's not Champions League.
Well, I know, but where do you think we end up? Not where you
I was
want
going to
us
get
to
my
end
dictionary to look up the word you use.
Me not English?
No, but again, I get your point. It's difficult to say, really.
I think
the chances of us making it into top 4 has improved, but without a central attacking midfielder who's capable of creating chances from the central area so that we can diversify our chance creation, it's difficult to say what's going to happen.
What are you saying? We got Jorginho. Couldn't resist. No, I get it. What about you, Bobby?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
What about you, Bobby?
Sorry. So, about
where do you think we end up when all is said and done, when the season ends, based on our new acquisitions and our full roster of players available to us over time? Where do you think we end up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always reluctant to make definitive predictions. I just think it's a nonsense. It's like gambling on the pools and things like that. It's all guesswork.
The pools, I remember that.
Yeah, that should take you back to old Littlewoods.
But Littlewoods.
Yeah, but
that's funny.
Look, I think we're in it to battle, aren't we? Sport is about endeavor. It's about battling. It's about never giving up. It's about keeping your eye on the prize, and that has to be our objective going forward, and that could take us anywhere. That is the only way to succeed.
I think we make 5th or 6th. 4th will be stretching it, but I think we definitely make top 7. That's just my opinion.
Like I said, whatever happens, again, I just don't want us to be in Europa League or the Europa Conference League. That's all I don't want to see happen. If that makes any sort of sense to you.
No,
but that's,
I get
by the
it.
way, yeah. Go ahead. I need to run. Go ahead.
I get it, but that means if we don't make top 7, that means we've had, with all due respect to the entire team and coaching staff, that then it's been somewhat of a mitigating failure.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for that. Again, we've come to the natural end of the show. I have to go take care of something. Big up, again, that was Thiago Potter. And the Bluetooth game, Roger, just let you know, if you pick up any more cards for the rest of the season, it's a suspension. The Chelsea perspective is in serious danger of losing its fair play for award. All right, funny, thank you again. I don't know if you miss out any day, we're really gonna miss you. Much love to you, brother. Always love having you on here. Come on, people, we need just 9 more likes to get it to 200 likes. Again, that will happen probably later in the day. Coach, can someone take my place for the dentist? No, sorry, you go deal with it. Nice man. Oh, you're so nice. But deal with it, brother. Again, thank you guys for everything. Rogerdinho with with lunch and tacos.
Yeah,
I love that one. Again, thank you guys. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Bobby. Again, I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you. Again, Tommy Bryan. Thank you, Chelsea Dan. Thank you, Liam Lane. Thank you. Who else again? The beautiful game. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Esa Mano, Chelsea boy, and we have it's Kami here, a good brother. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough. PJ Kelly and everyone else. Sorry if I missed your name. With that, we've come to the end of the show, and I hope to see you guys next time for another Blue Morning Show. Thank you. God bless us all, and bye.
Cheers.